Peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is vital to the future of you all.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Vital to the future of you all. That is correct. Annie Ainley is on the button as always. Good old Annie Ainley. He knows his stuff. He knows what's going down. So, you know, I'm going to start with a bit of a mystery. It's a bit of a mystery. Let me tell you. One of my guests tonight, I will say the very erudite Ninja Knight. Who really, if you ever sub to his channel, he's really good. I got to put his channel in the chat. Ninja Knight is coming on. And he just not WhatsApp me. He just DM'd me via Twitter that he's already in the green one. I'm like, oh, okay, fine, because he got there before me. Then I gave him my secret live streaming source, my secret to the perfect. Well, I felt the perfect live stream. Okay, which I sorry, I keep getting there's a short elections going on. I keep getting these emails coming in, and it's like they get more like fraught each time. It's like, really, we got the election going on, and the short elections, they're all freaking out. They're like, oh, okay, my show is freaking. Oh yeah, so the case of the missing Ninja Knight is he said I'm in the green room. So I said, fine, okay, I'll see you then in a minute. I came in, and he's not there. Where'd he go? I lost Ninja Knight. I don't know. So we have the case of missing Ninja Knight. We have my synagogue elections. Oh my god! It's they're all very serious. It's very serious. Let me tell you. People are like, the ballot came out. Sorry, it's so stupid. The ballot came out for the elections, and they couldn't get enough people to run to fill the ticket because they the show hasn't been good at making friends in the last year, shall we say, last few years. They haven't been playing well with others or themselves. So so then because the slate went out empty, basically, last night, and there's still a couple of positions empty because it went out empty. Which again, I enjoy because the synagogue has been the BBC and Jodie Whittaker. You know, the synagogue to me, they've had an entity come in, and it's not what it used to be. Let me tell you, we have changed direction. Anyway, they've alienated a bunch of people. But anyway, so the thing came out. So I thought it was funny they couldn't get a freaking thing together. So then, because it was a shunda, then a bunch of people then had their name added to the, and it's all very serious. It's all and meanwhile, I haven't even looked at the news. How do you think it's going? I don't know. Listen, I might stream if the Trumps are, and you all know, forgive me. Whatever your politics is, I love you. God bless you. I hope we all walk away happy. Okay? Can we just say that? I hope we all walk away, which we're not. Oh my God, they're building up buildings. That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. They need to bring back conscription. God's sake, for these bloody children. That's what they need to. I mean, really? I sound like my granddad. But what? They're pulled up buildings because they're worried their guy won't win. Yeah, I'm worried my guy won't win, but I'm worried. Okay, here's why I'm worried my guy won't win. Okay, because if the other guy loses, right? Those people are going to smash up buildings. I don't want those people being in charge because they're crazy, right? I mean, politics aside, they're crazy, right? So there's that going on. We got to talk about the J-Bot meltdown. Now, I made this thumbnail before Nut My Doctor had his Twitter meltdown. He had this multiple meltdown on Twitter. He keep walking in and nuking himself. It was weird. It was like, when a guy is standing and there's they're caught in the nuclear blast and their flesh melts off the body, just leave the skeleton. Well, that's what happened to him over and over again on Twitter, over and over again. whoa, you would have thought you would have just left it alone. It was a very severe spanking. So look, the good news is this: that we've had. I'm going to talk about them in a minute when I got to finish going through what we're doing in the show. I think we've had a nuisance in fandom, as a practical nuisance, which I think is over. We can all if it is, can you imagine the headache just going like, oh yeah, who cares? That'd be wonderful. Yeah, I think our lives would be a lot better for this. We're going to talk about that. That's what we're going to start with. We got to talk about Star Trek and Axanar, which looked freaking marvelous. We're going to watch that trailer together. It's like 8 minutes long, and I got a panel to watch. I'm bringing Keith Isles. Now, Keith Isles, freaking love Keith Isles. He's a great actor. So here, between you and me, yeah, I'll tell you my motivation now, because when you see it on my face, because you know I'm not lying, right? You're not telling the truth. It's going to be so much funnier when you can see me trying to think, like, how am I going to get this? Right? Because you're going to see it on my face, because it's going to be there. and I want you to be able to see it. It's like, I think it's funny because I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, it's going to happen anyway. And like, I feel kind of bad about it, right? I feel kind of bad about it, but still, I want to get something out of Keith. Keith is a great actor, right? Keith is really a good actor. I like when people tell you they do stuff like creative. They're like, you're like, yeah, okay, right? You know, you just nod. You say like, oh, it works out for you because they're normally awful, right? They're all like, come hear my band, really? No, please don't come and hear your band. That would really be, but you know, like, normally it's like. But sometimes it's good. So anyway, I begrudgingly, I don't know why it was begrudgingly, I made myself sit down and watch Mega Geek's movie, right? I said, come on, I've got to give it a go. We're doing a show on it, right? And I don't know why I was begrudging, because I kind of wanted to see it, right? But I made myself sit down and I went, I freaking loved it, right? Right? And it's really good. It's really good. Bad Day. And his other movie. Actually, I don't know why I was surprised, because that stuff's good as well. You know, I liked, Rebecca Gold. Yeah, I'll tell you, Ian is good at action movies with hot chicks, right? I would say, if you're a femme fatale, you know what? Here's what I would do. If I was Jessica Finley Brown, the girl from, actually was a girl there, so I can say the girl from Downton Abbey, who very wisely jumped ship in after the third season. Like you had the according to Saturday Night Live, you had the hot sister, the super hot sister, and the heinous sister. Right, the heinous sister was played by a guy. What's he called again? Fred Armiston, right? And then so she was the super hot sister, right? So anyway. Freaking awesome actress. You've got to see Brave New World. She does such an incredibly good job in that. And I know this sounds like partisan, and she's gorgeous. I mean, she is like, I had to watch Brave New World twice because whenever she's on screen, I'm like, my eyes just feel like, because she's gorgeous. She's stunning, and it's not like, it's not her fault. It's not my fault. She's just really, 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 really like you just want to stare at her because she's so gorgeous. But then she's having sex a lot in the movie, But she's still but she does such a freaking awesome job. She's a great actress. So I reckon if she got in touch with Mega Geek, they could come up with a great franchise together. Like she'll be a great spy chick, you know, and. She'll be cool. I mean, I think it'll be fantastic. I mean, honestly, I kind of like the Lady Christina D'Souza thing from. I didn't like the episode that much. What's it called again? Oh, Sands of War, whatever it was. The crap one. But she was a good character, and her Big Finish spin-off was good. I think I pre-ordered her next one because she's good. I like if I haven't ordered, I'm going to. I do like her. Big Finish, I think, is up for a good year in 2021, by the way. It's very good they're ending their monthly range. The monthly range was out of Steam. Entirely. So fine. So we've got Axanar we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching again. Oh, yeah. So what I want to get out of Keith, right? I I want to get Keith to do something. Like if I can write something for him that he would do in a monologue, like, you know, even audio, and we would put some music on it, like, you know, sound effects and stuff like that. I think we would. I think we'd all like that. I think we'd all. I think he would do well for it as well. I think I would do. I think it's actually a good thing. Anyway, so I had this idea for him, which I'll be because he. Oh yeah, so watch this movie. Bad, and there's this really bad guy in it. There's really like bad guy coming up, like so bad. Like, you know, he starts off bad and he goes, whoa, super bad, right? And I didn't recognize him as Keith. I'm like, that's an awesome job of acting. I think because I knew him beforehand. If I knew you and I didn't recognize you, I think that's freaking awesome. So if I can get him to, like, there's a bunch of stuff what I'm trying to get him to do. Like, here, I would love to get him to put on. This is the most partisan thing I would like him to do. Put on like a red army jacket. I will send him an red army jacket. Find some like foliage to be in front and do like into camera. For my as a trailer for my graphic novel, which I'm probably putting out in, I guess. Well, I got this Indiegogo coming up now. I think I'll be launching in December. But that's ready to go, right? That's ready to go to printers, right? Print files done, sealed, easy. I mean, I'll probably have to redo the print file, but yeah, I know everything's finished. I'm gonna tweak it a bit. I got a new cover that looks really good. Oh man, I got a new cover for Biblical. Maybe I can find that. So I got that going on. Is it over here? So I got this thing called Crown of the Empire, which is like the steampunk thing. But basically, imagine Zulu on Mars, where there's like, red coats on Mars with ray guns. You know, like, what could be bad about that? And there's a Zulu uprising where the Zulus are like green and scaly in this case. You know, that kind of thing. Where was it? It'll be over here, I think. Oh, right. Is it the? Oh, wait. No, I think is this? I don't know if it's the JPEG. I have a JPEG. We are in action, baby. No, wrong one. Wrong type of JPEG. Where was it? Oh, no, here it is. I think I found it. Is this it? That's the one. I did 3 versions. I'll do this one here. Oh, and I got another exclusive thing to show you. This is really cool as well. I got artwork back from the second in my series of art cards for the male gaze. Now, to remind you, the first one, but basic brief for the male gaze. Oh, anyway, let me finish the key story first. So if I can get into something in camera as like a surviving military officer somewhere in the outback of Mars, like sending a last transmission back. We've been overrun by the Huns, that sort of thing. And but if I can do that into camera, that'll be a great little trailer. For my my graphic novel. It'll be really, really cool. And I reckon we can pull it off. But like, I just have so much belief in his abilities, so I really do. So yeah, what I would really like to do, firstly, I want him to if he just took a Star Trek book, like a Peter David Star Trek book, and read it and put some sound effects on it. Boom! I'm listening to that podcast every week. Yeah, why not? Yeah, of course I'm going to listen to that. That'd be freaking awesome. But I would write the Star Trek thing if you wanted to do audio. Yeah, totally. So yeah, so now you know when Keith comes in, I'm not going, and we're going to talk him into this, right? You know what's going on in my head. Fine, let me pull up this piece of artwork. So this is a new cover for Biblical Bible stories for atheists, creationists, rationalists, and rogues. I'm pretty happy with them with how they came out. The bookshelf is actually the bookshelf you see behind me. Yeah, it came out cool. I really like that. And no, that's not weed. Unfortunately, that's not weed. I wish it was. Oh, look at that. Did this pop in? Fine. But yeah, so that's that coming up. But one second. So here, I got something much more exciting to show you than this. So I got my first of my art cards. Here, I got to go over here. Facebook is just such crap recently. It used to be great. I don't understand. I really don't understand why it isn't good anymore. Like, it's just slow. Like, slugs along. Oh, what was it? Blue Bonnet just had a video put out. Oh, one second. So, here, 1 second. So I got here, I'll show you the first of the art cards. My basic brief for these art cards is now if you sign up for my Indiegogo, which I think the sign up list is coming out this week. Sign up for the Indiegogo. You with any purchase, you get one of these 4 art cards. There will be a tier where you can get all of the art cards, and then I'll give you something else instead, right? If you sign up, you will always get a perk, right? So the basic brief is what genre related masturbatory fantasy would I had when I was 13? What genre related masturbatory fantasy would I had when I was 13? Oh, 1 second. Ninja Knight. I see. Just let me finish waffling. Okay, no problem. So that is my essential brief. So the first one I wanted to go for a James Bond motif. So it's there we go over here. Ba 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 da 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 da. So that's the first one. You want to go very very sexy, very very sexy. I have to thank what's her name? Got good Kickstarter, Pirate Queen. Oh, what's her freaking name? Oh, come back to me. Okay. Mandy. Got to thank Mandy for that, because Mandy is unapologetically sexy in her comics. And I was always kind of embarrassed, right? I'm like, and you know what? I don't see why. I think normative heterosexuality is fine. I'm sure this young lady has a lot going on for her, other than being very, very, very hot. I just am going again. The basic brief is my masturbatory fantasy, my genre-related masturbatory fantasy from when I was 13. My genre-related masturbatory fantasy from when I was 13. So we had a bit of a back and forwards making this. The first design sketch was this, which I thought was a bit too static, right? A little bit too static. Yeah, it should come up in a minute, hopefully. There you go. Thought it was a bit too static. So then I said, no, let's try and get some movement in. Actually, I showed him this picture to try and get him the idea of the movement I was looking for. So then he came up with this, which was, I thought, really, really nailed it. Da-da! Yeah, and then he made it, did the finished one from that. So that's the first one in For the Male Gaze. For the Male Gaze. Yeah, 1 second. How do I move over? I got all these because I don't want to surprise you. I don't want to spoil the surprise with all the here. Let me unshare the window first. 1 second. Okay, Ninja Knight, as soon as I finish with this, I'm bringing you one. Okay, here we go. We go unshare. Then I'll ping this up there. So I sent him many stills of the next one. The next one in For the Male Gaze. I was very specific about what I was going for. What do you think? What do you think the Rabbi would want? Right? Again, it is my genre-related masturbatory fantasy when I was 13. My genre-related masturbatory fantasy when I was 13. And I'm sure many of you out there would agree with me. I think he nailed it. Now, this is just the rough, okay? He's got to finish it. But I think he nailed it. Let me bring on Ninja Knight. Let me see what he thinks. Ninja Knight, what do you think about this?
I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does. Freaking awesome.
How are you, Rabbi?
I am awfully well. Fine. So yeah. So that's going. So yes, that's the second one. So the second one, I'm going to leave that up. Yeah, maybe bring some viewers in. Yeah, I'll say quite shamelessly. So yeah. So the next one I'm going to see. Here's the thing. I don't want to make it only my masturbatory fantasy when I was only my related masturbatory fantasy when I understand there are other people out there with differing tastes. So okay, so the next one will be a Space 1999 theme. So I'm thinking of having the spacesuit hang up in the background, in those Space 1999 walks, right? And then in the foreground is what's her name? Zernia, this kind of Asian-y one. I can't remember the character's name or the actress name. Right. Okay. For some reason, she's in very, very skimpy bra and panties and heels, right? She's getting changed. You're catching her in the moment to get changed, but she's an officer, you see, so she's ready for action because in one hand she's holding the Space 1999 helmet, ready for action, but in the other one she has the Space 1999 phaser out, firing into the foreground. So I think that'll be number 3. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. It's fantastic. I'm a big fan of the stuff that you're doing here. I think the art is really nice, and I think like we were on talking the other day about Return of the Jedi, and me saying that like Princess Leia in the bikini was always the best shot I thought. But yeah, I really like that. Like I
Yeah.
said to you before, I'm a big fan of the artwork, man. It's top quality stuff.
Oh yeah, he's a great artist, Dominic Rancho. I listen. If I'm able to like get my Kickstarter comic things going, I got work from him constantly. Like I got freaking work from him constantly. So my Kickstarter coming up. I got this 2 books. One is called The Imperium, which is he did the artwork in, which is basically Doctor Who, Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who, and Emma Peel, James Bond, a monkey in a spacesuit, and the Black Slab from 2001 working together.
The monkey in the spacesuit sounds good.
Oh, the monkey in the spacesuit's very good. He's very good. He actually saves the day. He's very pivotal, right? He does spend a lot of it walking around with lots of rolls of toilet paper in his arm, which he's got them because James Bond, he goes and checks on James Bond, and he is in bed with 3 young ladies. Had a bit of a wild night because one of them's dead, right? One of them was dead, so it got kind of wild. So the monkey feels a bit bad about this. He wants to get rid of the corpse, so he spends some of the time dragging the corpse around, ends up stashing her in the broom closet, but he has to take the toilet roll out first. He's got to hold the toilet roll, so he spends quite a little bit of time walking around with this toilet roll in his hand until there's this invading extra-dimensional entity coming, and that creates a like quasi sex scene with Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who and Emma Peel. It's really there's all these like Lovecraftian tentacles going around. It's freaking crazy, right? So the monkey gets there, but just as like reality starts to tear, he freaks out. He throws a toilet roll at the invading entity, right? Who grabs it in a tentacle, and then he holds it curiously. He holds it up to his eye, like going bloop bloop bloop. At that time, James Bond is walking down the corridor. He's a very grounded person. He doesn't worry about all this extra-dimensional stuff. He just walks in and goes, "What's happening?" So he walks in, but you see it from the point of view of the entity looking through the toilet roll. So he's walking down the toilet roll because it's like I imagine every kid has held up that toilet roll to his eye and done the James Bond sequence, right? So that is actually what happens. So what happens is then James Bond pulls out his gun, bam, fire, like bigger than James Bond. He shatters the entity, which causes reality to implode. Right? They tumble into nothingness, into whiteness, which is good because I actually I added a few pages in, for free because I only did. I need like a white page. That was awesome. That worked out well. So anyway, and then it cuts to Ian Fleming waking up in Jamaica in like 1952. Right, I said, that's an awfully good idea. He lights himself a pipe and he starts typing away. And he starts typing out the opening lines of Casino Royale, right? So what happens is these characters, to make themselves real again, they create fictional versions of themselves so they can piggyback into reality. So that's basically what happens. That is why there's a Doctor Who, because it's a copy of a weird entity who I got to make it because the artist did him looking too much like Doctor Who, so I got to make him different now. So one of the stretch goals is I'm going to add some pages in, which will be Doctor Who taking a trip in Hyde Park, like doing like some acid or mushrooms during a festival or something. Something like that. I can imagine Doctor Who like sitting like Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who sitting cross-legged at the back of like the
something about Burning Man or something.
Yeah, in like Hyde Park or something, and like dropping acid. I can imagine doing that. That would be fun.
It would actually be great. Yeah.
So then if we make decent money, I'll add in 20 pages, right? And in those 20 pages, I'll have so we'll have that scene. We'll have the Black Slab. He goes and visits kind of like Tracy Island, but I have to rename it. Like we won't call them Thunderbirds. We'll call them Firebrands, right? And it's but really there's like a pedophile sex ring going on with it. You know? So it's like, it was with like Jimmy Savile, that sort of thing. Torchy the Battery Boy is left shivering in a closet.
Yeah.
It's quite dark, but yeah. So I want to like do add that plot thread in as well, and maybe we'll visit Liam McKern's number 2, who would be the villain if they ever did a sequel series. So anyway, so in this book, it's
always a crossover. Yeah, go ahead, Rabbi. Sorry.
I'm sorry, carry on.
It's always a crossover I would have loved to see. Would have been James Bond and Doctor Who. I think that would have been amazing.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Hang on a second. Let me bring everybody on. Problem being, how you doing, sir?
Hello. Oh, hello.
Okay, and
hello, Lee.
Dan Hadley.
Yay.
All right, Dan.
Ding dong. Hello, boys. What have you got for me today?
Oh, by the way, Rabbi, did you know, seriously, in all seriousness, that Nicola Bryant was once 14? So.
Oh, that's
saying.
That is true. You don't know when this picture is set.
That's right. Yeah. You're a bad man.
You might be. Of course, you might not. I don't want to tarnish anyone with that brush. So anyway,
we've had good laugh today on Twitter. Anyway,
it's good to see you all, including you, Perry. Of course, yeah. We'll catch up. I can't wait to hear what fun and games you lot have been having today.
Oh my god! Oh god! Did you hear how I described it, Ninja Knight?
Yeah, I've seen it. Like it's
it was like a slow motion. You know, in movies like Watchmen, he has a dream sequence. There's a slow motion as like a nuclear bomb goes off. It hits them, and their faces like melt off the flesh. Leaving a skeleton on there. Like this guy got cremated. Like not once, like over and over again. He kept coming back. It was like a guy right. It was terrible. I felt bad.
Oh, the latest one now that they're trying to make all kinds of excuses for, and it's quite amusing considering all the accusations made against Rabbi, which were done completely disingenuously. One of them decided that in one of the hate threads against Rabbi to post the GIF from Let's Kill Hitler, which is a GIF of a Nazi pointing a gun.
Look. Probably I'm not even touching it, mate. I'm not touching it. It might have been a mistake. It's I'm going to let it go.
But I mean, would they let it go if it were done to one of them?
No,
I don't think so.
I can't help being the better person. I am.
Listen, when I asked, have they that particular individual, have they ever engaged in combat, and the weak ass response I got back towards that, I did get a good chuckle out of that one. Now, to be fair,
I did say to them, let's say, for example, that someone who they had a targeted hate campaign thread on consisted of an attack against a black man, and they used a GIF, let's say, from the KKK in Blazing Saddles. Would that be acceptable?
Not at all, no.
No, it isn't. So there we go.
It's a bit of a own. That is not good. It's not. You don't want to do that. Listen. We're here for something much better.
Yes.
We're here for much better.
Yes.
If you come, whatever, I always feel like I've got to like straighten up. I've got to feel like I've got to be on my toes. You get there's something like paternal about you. I'm very okay, yes, clean up everybody.
Rabbi's daddy issues.
Best behaviour, everybody, kids in the house.
You don't want my best behaviour, which is a good thing. It's an awfully good thing.
Rabbi's in front of the class now. That's what's going on.
Exactly. That's how I feel. You'll be a great school teacher. I sent him a message in the middle of the night. I was going to go to bed last night. Had a great idea for a movie. I want to get in to make it right. Imagine like a hitman, like a thug, right? But he's a Doctor Who fan. He's very sincere, or Star Trek fan. He's very sincere about it. It's very deeply, it's one of those like they know, very like he really believes it deep down. And he's like, he just doesn't like it being wrong, right? So he's got that, and he's also a hitman, and he kills people, like shoots him in the face, like professionally, right? So it's that. And so he gets wound up with an internet troll, or with a Twitter troll, Like I always think when I'm seeing kids get mixed up with something like this in real life. Like, and because he's a detective, he goes and finds this kid, and then he's like got this thing of retribution. He's going to shoot this guy like that. He's going to. I don't know. I just imagine him somehow. He kidnapped the kid. He's hanging upside down. He's got silencer on. It's just like this two-hander where they try and talk you out. At that point. And then I think maybe he shoots him anyway. And anyway, again, I want Keith to star in it. And I want Ian to make it. I reckon that's not, it's basically a one-roomer. Make it mainly a two-hander. I reckon
you're onto a winner.
Let's do it.
I like a winner.
Let's do it.
I'll tell you what. Listen, if you are, I got my Indiegogo starting right now. I'm gonna start. That's my main focus, right? But then I got Crown the Empire, which is right after that. But then seriously, if you want to try and fundraise for it, I'm totally up for it. You want to prep?
He means it.
I really do.
I can tell by the look at his face. He means it. I've seen that look before.
I want to do a Star Trek fan film now after all this.
I know. Oh, that's why you're here. I have a solution for that as well.
Do a Blake 7.
Lots of chair acting, Keith.
Yeah.
Lots of chair acting.
Really.
Chair acting.
Do a book on tape. Keith,
Brilliant.
Serialize a book on tape. Grab one of the old 90s Peter David Star Trek books and narrate it yourself. Add some music in, some sound effects. I will come to there every week. 100% I would. And you would do it right. That's the thing.
Just say yes.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. I'm too scared to say yeah. He's a man of the cloth. I can't say.
You see that?
Oh, God. I see.
Good idea. That's what I'm saying. It's a good idea.
I can see it in my mind's eye, everybody. I can see it. So
Somebody's saying I'd behave on at least. So that's
No!
Dan
Villa. I get Villa. Oh, wow.
Dan.
Okay.
really?
I'm Villa. Back off.
Problem
Okay.
being as Villa. Well, nobody's got any idea what problem being looks like. So
He was in the picture.
he could be. Well, yeah, but it's kind of obscure, isn't it? It looks.
That's me.
He should have a camera. He's a face. I thought you were very dishy. Fine. Let's the chat quickly. Logan 5, how are you? I thought Axanar was dead. Yeah, but it's coming back. And it's freaking awesome. Patricia Rodriguez, hurry up. Listen, I'm only an hour behind. What's wrong with you? It's like you wrote this an hour ago. Problem being, there you go. Easton's here. Easton, how you doing? Kip Ellis, I know. Very sad about John Stephen. And it jumped. There. Oh, man, it seriously jumped.
Jump.
Lonnie Webb is here. How you doing? George Falloon, the thing king. Lonnie Webb. Here we go. Daniel, how you doing? Daniel. As a possibility, I might be doing another interview with Nick Briggs. He's a diamond, I'm telling you. He's such a good guy, that guy, Nick Briggs. I just listened to the Callan box set. It's very good. It's very, very good. And also, Callan is on YouTube. The original series from 69 to 73 is his early 70s, very, very dour spy show.
Yeah, that's where I kind of picked them up from.
Yeah. They're freaking awesome. Yeah. They're absolutely incredible. They really haven't aged at all. And it's the opposite of James Bond. Instead of in Monte Carlo, they're in bed sits in Clapham. They have these really tiny things, and they do horrible things. If they're not killing somebody, they're making their lives horrible. They're doing terror. They're fantastic characters. His best friend.
Going too much down a rabbit hole. It's like Columbo. If they were to make that pilot into a movie now, it would take so little adaptation to work.
You're 100% right. That pilot, it's a bit weird. No, I'm thinking one of the later ones. One of the later ones where he directed himself. Do you ever see Wings of Desire, by the way? He's in that.
No?
That's a really long Wim Wenders movie, which is quite good.
Wings of Desire. Let's do a quick Google search. Let's have a quick look.
And I'm just going to say, I am not expendable. I am not stupid. And I'm not going.
That's Philip, right?
That's Avon, dear.
Oh, okay. You sound like Philip.
You're not helping.
I'm sorry. What do you want out of me?
Sheer deprecation.
Well, what was I talking about?
Oh God.
Well, Dan was looking something up.
Couldn't agree with
Yes,
you.
I've just got to look at that film. I've just looked at. I've got in the other window on my other screen. I've got the chat open.
What was I talking about?
You were talking about Callan, my friend.
Callan, oh God, thank you. I was like,
Boomer.
could have been anywhere. Really? Oh, thank you. Bloody hell, that was okay. You want to come back to it?
I've just looked at the title of the stream that we're on because I thought, what is it he wants to talk about? I can't remember. And you've got here, you got J-Bot Meltdown, Joe Martin.
No, I did that before they had the meltdown. I did. I didn't. Today it was sad. Little boy. It really was.
Like it is 99% of the time.
It wasn't. And so I don't want to focus on it at all. It's just forget it. Anyway, so he did such a good job with this character, Hunter. Right, Hunter is the guy in charge, and he's like the civil servant, and he like goes to town with his bowler hat on and his umbrella every week. Right. And he's like a very two-dimensional character. He really imbued like some dimension into it. So I sent him an email saying, "That's really fantastic. I love that box set." He replied to me, and we got talking about something else as well. So hopefully we're having. Look, there's a big year coming up next year. There's War Doctor. I think it's going to be good. There's Dalek Universe. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Chris Eccleston. Yeah, it's Big Finish's year.
Exactly.
It's the year where Big Finish will finally sort of bury TV Doctor Who, I think, once and for all.
Totally. Absolutely. Anyway, shall I pull up the thing at Axanar, which is why Wire is here?
Yeah.
Axanar is coming. So Axanar is a fan film. Now, don't be disturbed. This is just an ad, okay? We're in Israel. I don't know what they're telling me, but he looks kind of scary. Looks like
I am not going to kill you.
You're so going to kill me. Okay, let's just play it. So anyway, so Axanar is a really incredible Star Trek fan film that ended Star Trek fan films. It was they fundraised for it. It was basically about the Klingon War. This was before Discovery did it, and it was so much better. They did a prequel movie of like 20 minutes. They had what's his name, Richard Hatch in it, who's unfortunately dead now, as a Klingon general, and it was brilliant. And it's really and I love the fan films. I think the fan films are fantastic. Anyway, so it's been in limbo. I should actually get a copy of it. I backed it like on Indiegogo, I think, like years ago. By the way, something else I backed on Indiegogo. And Keith, if you want me to upload this to my server, you would love this. This thing called What We Left Behind. It's a retrospective of Deep Space Nine.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen
good?
it.
Oh, I haven't. Send me a link.
That's very good. Yeah,
basically everybody's in it. Like they got archive footage of Avery Brooks, but everybody's like deeply involved in it. They sing and do dance numbers in it. They get the entire writers' room back together, and they do an imaginary first episode of a season 8, right? And it's really good. And you want to go? I want to see that. I want to see that show. So yeah, I'll upload it for you. It's good.
Cool.
Right. So Axanar. So this was about the Klingon War. Finally they're coming out with something, and it looks absolutely incredible. So I figure we'll watch it again. I'm going to keep stopping it so we can talk. I'll stop it mainly when I want to, because it's me. If you want me to stop it, like shout out, because I'm going to be on another window. Okay.
Need to get past this advert in 5 seconds.
Okay, let's get past the advert. He's not going to kill us. Okay,
He's going for the bird.
Technologically superior to anything in the planet.
The Hatch?
Yes.
The Federation fleet. Stardate 2245.1.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, that's just very, very good. That's like the best thing we've ever seen the D7, right?
Yeah. Texture. There's extra texture in there, isn't there?
It's just done with such love.
Enters the war. Let's do it.
I can't believe this is finally getting done.
Long.
I just love the set. I love how they've sort of crossed the TOS with TNG.
Exactly. I was just thinking the same thing, and I am personally they're practical things. I mean, I like all like the red alert thing. That's all just right, but it is. It's got those like TNG kind of move. It's
The
like
decals.
they're called what they're called oakengrams or something.
Yeah, the
Narcos.
Michael and Denise Okuda stuff. If you look at that bank of them, that strip of them going through the middle, there's one as you're going towards the right, and you can see it's like a proto version, probably being the stuff from TNG, the touchscreen stuff. So it's just a nice middle ground, and I mean, this is typical of me. Sorry for the designer. Rabbi,
No, this is great. I love this stuff.
But the blue rails instead of red rails on the Enterprise, they've got the rails of blue. So I don't know if this is a science vessel or something like that. Whether there's because we've got the blue, the gold, and the red, which we've now had. We've seen that in lower decks, haven't we? They've actually got them on the saucer sections now. So I wonder what the blue rails denote, Keith. I'm going really geeky. Press play.
Like it.
Daniel, you're turning red. Dan's turning red.
Oh no, I always look like this.
Red alert.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
God, I wish I was in this.
And I do like they're taking the best of everything, right?
Even the uniforms look very sort of TNG-esque with the
they're basically the same as the uniforms from the movies, from the JJ verse, which I thought they were. So this is working. It's the best of everything. Like he's in a TNG, basically a TNG version of a TOS set. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Fine, pressing play again. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, do a good dogfight. This is what we want.
Oh, and it's just again, it's none of it's false. Everything feels real and earned. Everything feels part of the Star Trek universe to me.
It's because it's got Rabbi, it's got an elegance to it, and this is what you don't have. I think a lot of Discovery is beautiful. The effects work, I sincerely do. But Star Trek characterized, particularly from TNG onwards, but by a certain elegance about it.
Yeah,
even when things get nasty.
Look at these. What was it nacelles? They're just they're gorgeous. They got the like TOS like flickery light thing going on.
Yeah,
I love them. But they got all that texture of a movie thing. I mean, it looks like Reliant. It looks so good, and he got that that very movie era. What's it? Deflector dish there. As all good. Okay, fine.
I've seen the making of this VFX shot. Is it
Robert?
Robert's
Bennett.
Robert's channel.
Bennett.
Really?
Absolutely fascinating. Yeah, you should check it out.
Yeah.
It's so lovingly done.
It's the nicest. It kind of reminds me of the Voyager titles, which I think were just gorgeous.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Did you notice as well back in the bridge? Let's get geek again. Back in the bridge, some of the consoles, the kind of boxier ones that look like the casings. If you remember how the casings of Commodore PETs used to be, those early home computers in the 80s, but they used that style of boxing in the motion picture and that kind of era, and in the starbase, in various star bases, space docks and things, and they've put those in here too.
Yeah, this is actually supposed to be pre-TOS though, right?
Yeah,
between Enterprise and Pike's era. Yeah,
this is after the Romulan War, but before Kirk.
Yeah. Okay.
The good thing about that is, of course, because the Enterprise at that point is not a new ship, is it? By the time we see Kirk traveling in it, it's been going around for 10, 12 years.
At least, you had Robert April and Pike, right?
Like sort of blur the lines a little bit, I suppose.
Right. It must have been about 15 years old or so. All right, let's go. Oh, yes.
Gorgeous.
Oh! Oh man, that's just. I mean, you can see why Kurtzman would want to put a stop to these, right?
Yeah. It's a shame.
It's so good.
Mm.
You know, I mean, I've said this many times, but like, if CBS or Access wanted to make real money really quickly and get Trekkies on board, just greenlight this. It will cost them nothing.
Are these badges deliberately changed?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I also think that was that's the original thing where each ship had its different insignia, right?
That's right. Yeah, apparently, in the original series era, until the movies, every ship had their own individual logo, and then obviously that was kind of wrecked on since. But
it's like Klingon foreheads. You know, there's less than Klingon foreheads. That was more explained. But let's see what he's going to say.
I want everyone to see this.
Yeah, me too.
It looks phenomenal already.
Well, this production's fantastic.
She's got a neck, isn't she?
Anything that has something to do with like passion, and I see like all of this come together. It's something that you just kind of like want to be a part of just by looking.
Okay, they're all attractive people. That's like okay. It's very vain, but I like everybody in Star Trek's always attractive, right? And I think that just feels what Star Trek should be. I mean, like, I'm like, you know, it's fine. Everybody should feel good about themselves. But can we just look at attractive people, please? That's what I want.
Oh my God, this is Star Trek.
I truly think this is a history-making production.
I have the highest expectations.
Okay. All the women are attractive, and that's basically all right.
Oh, he looks great. Oh no, he's cool. I like
there
that.
you go. We have the air. There you go.
He's kind of like he's got the Bacardi feel, you know.
He's got the phrase, yes, I can imagine.
Not ageist.
And look how excited he is as well.
Yeah,
when he starts talking more a little later on, and he can't contain his joy.
I don't blame him. You know, it would be so cool to do something like this. You know what I mean? That would be so fun.
I gave you the pitch for this, right? This is you're a captain of a ship that abandoned ship during Wolf 459. This is your shuttle pod diary. Basically, you can't move from it, and you got it. This is how you survive. It's like The Martian.
Yeah, but it's not as cool as being on the bridge, is it?
What?
I said, but it's not as cool as being on the bridge, is it?
Well, I mean, you can get a shot of you as in captain's chair during Wolf 359. I could do that easy, right? That's easily doable. Right? You just need a chair and a green screen. That's not, and then you shake the freaking image and put and a red on you. And you're done. It's like, you know, how's the battle ship? All you got to do is that. It's not hard. You can do that. And don't tell me you wouldn't love every second of it, right?
No,
yes,
it's in the bag. It's in the bag already.
Absolutely.
Fine. So, yes, I'll write it for you if you want, but it writes itself. This one's easy. Fine. Let's see what it's got to say.
It looks that good. it's not just continuing the story, it's exceeding what we've done before.
I expect this to be one of the finest pieces of small screen that should be on big screen cinematography, with the level of professionalism and the quality of workmanship I've been seeing just on previs in the back.
You see, yeah, another thing I always like about when someone's doing a creative endeavor, they're not shy about it, right? They just infuse happiness. Yeah. Like their feeling is, well, I want you to have this because it's better for you, right? Like again, when I sell my comic, it's basically okay. It's going to be good for you to buy it. Buy my comic because I want your life better. That's basically my opinion. But like you can see his, you can see. I mean, like he really means it. Like he wants to see it, and boy, do I want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, oh, yes. Oh, that is freaking awesome.
There's a touch of the DS9s about that.
What?
Touch of the DS9s about that.
I was just thinking that, but it's also got a very JJ-esque, feel to it. I just think it's very contemporary, which is probably why it does. It's it's just got that. Yeah, it's very JJ-esque. It's really good. It's so good. I wonder if I've been demonetized for this.
Who knows? Probably
already.
To be honest,
I mean, I would have thought everything's not under copyright because it's on YouTube.
Of all the people to take action against you, Alex Peters is hardly in any position.
Yeah,
well, exactly.
Well, if he does, he does.
More about that guy later on. I'm not his biggest fan, I should warn you.
I hear he's a bit of a douchebag, but all's forgiven. All's forgiven if you make me Star Trek that I like, okay? That's basically Dr. Mengele, fine. Can you just make me Star Trek? I don't know. You'd have to bring back Star Wars as well. And Doctor Who. Still wouldn't know. Still, Dr. Mengele does go. Fine, okay, back to this guy.
The bridge is astonishing. The first time I set eyes on that bridge, I was just...
You're an engineer. You're in charge of making sure the ship stays together, okay?
First of all, the set looks phenomenal, so it was super exciting to walk in and kind of see all of that.
Your weapons, you make sure you're going to blow.
Well, I liked her TOS collar, right? Yeah, you saw it like once or twice in TOS, and like the early one.
Nurse Chapel.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like what they're trying to do here, which is good, is that they're sort of trying to bridge that gap between, the Cage and the original series. So it looks like they've sort of mixed up the uniforms. So you've got some
right.
A bit like they did in Star Trek Generations when they had the sort of next gen costumes and then the DS9 type costumes.
And it feels like it's the same universe as Enterprise as well, right? It feels like there's continuity to it.
Shouldn't this guy be hosting Pointless?
Well, like the display, the other displays, computer displays, or are they like film displays? I don't know. We'll go either way on that, but they look good. Everything looks good. Fine. And also, I do like he's got the very he's got that very pilot collar on, right?
Yeah, it's like the ones in the Cage and Where No Man Has Gone Before, isn't it? Those before they changed the uniforms, and like you said, the other ones look very much like the JJ verse type.
Right.
Ninja Knight needs to come back in. He's asking.
Oh, I don't know. You're out. Where did he go? What happened to him?
He popped off a few minutes ago.
His mic unplugged.
I didn't even know you're gone, mate. I should have realized. How long have you been gone for?
I might have been gone for the last 10 minutes. I might have been gone for the majority of this. I might have been commenting away, and then I was like, "Fuck, I'm out of stream." These guys are just ignoring me.
It's that anti-Irish rhetoric
It's
followed.
this anti-Irish rhetoric that's happening.
It's the anti-Irish rhetoric. There we go. It's the
To bring us up to speed on what I have been saying, though, this looks fantastic. I have to say, this looks like the best Star Trek that we've probably seen in years.
It really is, isn't it? I mean, it's like better than, I don't know, you go back to what I would say best since First Contact.
Yeah, it's very, very good. This is.
Fine, let me put it. So that you're back. If anybody goes, could somebody let me know? Again, I'm on a different window.
Spectacular.
She's your boss. She's in charge of attacking weapons, shields, everything. Okay?
This is fantastic. I don't think I've ever really been in front of something so detailed and colorful and realistic in my acting career thus far. But
thus far, she's 22. Really? Okay.
It is a fantastic set. I mean, I would be so excited to be on that bridge. Oh my god.
Yeah. I wonder what these sets are now. I mean, they could really do tours of them. I would so want to see these sets.
It's something that I think a lot of people are going to be super stoked to see.
Oh, yeah.
This is our pilot. She's in charge of flying the ship. Okay.
This is such a cool set. All the detail and everything that's gone into it's really amazing.
She is unreal.
Absolutely smoking hot.
Yeah. So what's that?
She's a very attractive lady.
She was.
Oh my god, such toxic masculinity.
But she's got. She had that very number one vibe going for her, right?
Especially with the hair.
Let's just go back and check. You know, it's like, you know, and she's right as well. She's like, I can't believe how freaking awesome I look. And you're right. You do. I love the hair, love the makeup, everything. I guess I should press.
She is, yeah. She's quite decent.
Screensaver.
I am very glad I should have checked what perks were.
Cool set, all the detail and everything that's gone into it's really amazing.
He's fleet ops. He's just watching whatever all the other ships in the fleet are doing. And both of you guys, when you need to captain to know something, you throw it up on these screens. Those are your substations.
If I wasn't flying this at warp speed across space, folks, this would be possibly my favorite sports bar. Look at all these. Kickball and Vulcan ball. This is amazing.
Crystal over here is in charge of environmental. She doesn't do her job of suffocate or freeze. Connor here is in navigation.
So does anybody know when this is coming out?
Not a clue.
Well,
that's the point of Constellation. It could be 2035 for all we know with that.
If they got this far, it's got to be pretty darn close, hasn't it?
One would hope.
I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean it depends because this the lawsuit and the fan film restrictions are very tight now. So it depends whether they.
I have no idea how they're doing it. The fan films have to be like 30 minutes, didn't they?
No, shorter. It's like
15 minutes, and you can only have 2 episodes, so you can only do 30 minutes of storytelling.
They did short treks.
Okay, never mind.
So they did short treks to demonstrate it was a normative form of Star Trek. That's entirely one of the reasons. I was going to say entirely. It's not entirely right, but
you have to clearly label a Star Trek fan film. You have to have that as your byline. That's another thing.
Yeah, fine, I'll put up with that. Although, again, I just wish all the fan films would get together and say, fine, we'll say Confederation instead of Federation.
Because this guy spent like 6 or 7 years saying, this is not a fan film, this is not a fan film. And then, of course, when they came after him, it's just a fan film. It's just a fan film. It was quite extraordinary, lily-livered. Oh.
Yeah, he definitely does fit into normal Hollywood douchebaggery. Okay, one second. Hopefully my wife is going to get the phone. Well, I guess we'll find out. There you go. That's a good sign. That was a good sign. I thought I'd turn the ring off, but I don't know how to do it. Fine. Okay, let's go back to this.
He doesn't send the right information to him. He's flying to an asteroid.
3, 2, 1, go!
I love seeing movie era aliens in original series costumes. Right? I love seeing that. The guy at the front, he was the president in one of the movies, right? And
Star Trek 6, yeah.
And was he in?
And he was also in Star Trek 4. There was a crew member like that as well.
Right.
One of the
And there was there was also a on the ship they got hit by the probe.
Yeah, the Saratoga. Yeah.
And he had the engineer was like one of those guys.
Just saying the guy on the top left there, like, I don't know, just a word with the Federation, you know, maybe bolt your seats to the floor.
Good idea.
Just a suggestion.
Always wise. Well, this is early Federation. They don't know this shit, right?
I actually got to sit in the seat that William Shatner actually sat in. They have it down in NASA there in Florida, and it's highly uncomfortable.
I went on the bridge of Next Generation ones, like the real bridge. There was a tour in England, and there's a lot of it was wood. It was really weird. The horseshoe was wood. I was like, oh, that's strange. But it was, so I didn't know that. There you go. All right, let's see more.
This is amazing. This really is incredible.
The cast, the crew, everybody was great. It was a really, really fun experience.
After meeting all the people, I was kind of like, this is really a great team. I mean, it's a really well-run professional set, and I appreciate that as an actor. I'm very thrilled when I get onto a set and don't have to worry about little things and just know that it's going to run smoothly. And this has run very smoothly for me. Been very nice.
But just from everyone, from the crew to other castmates, has been amazing. So I've really enjoyed being on set today.
Everyone has been just fantastic. Feels like everybody's family here.
No, you're not going to come out and say I fucking hated that guy.
What? I
just going to come out and say that, are they? Like, oh, I really hated this experience. That guy was a jerk.
But you know what? Again, listen, I just want to reiterate this. I just want everybody in Star Trek to be attractive. I want everybody in Star Trek to be attractive. And basically they are. And that I like this about Star Trek. Just be attractive. That's one of the main things you have to be in the Federation nowadays. Be attractive. That's good. If you're that is good. And they also have a pension plan as well, obviously. Is he famous? He looks famous.
He's just got one of those faces, hasn't he? He looks like Kenny Rogers' big brother or something.
Was he like a stunt coordinator?
No. Isn't this is the guy that played Martok in Deep Space Nine?
Yes.
J.W. Hertzer or whatever his name is.
Yeah, right. Never seen him without his makeup before.
Wow, good call. I would never have got Martok. I would have got the closest I would have got was the one of the Klingons, right? The other one was the one who was on Battlestar Galactica. What was his name?
Richard Hatch. Yeah, Richard Hatch is in it as well. He played Apollo or Tom Zarek.
Okay, you were right. But I was thinking the absolute different Battlestar Galactica and different. I was thinking which the other. What was the guy? He was
in both. Richard Hatch
No. But I was talking the other Klingon, the other original series Klingon was also Boltar in the original Battlestar.
Oh, John Colicos.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah. So you were right, but completely the wrong thing I was talking about. So thank you. So there you go. Here we go.
From Ireland comes York to claim his rights. That's from Henry VI, Part 2. Montgomery Scott learned nothing until I taught him everything.
They're all Star Trek fans. They love it, but they know what they're doing, and that's what makes Axanar special.
I mean, what's his name again? He's perfect for the movie industry, right? You can't believe a word comes out of his mouth. Right?
Alex Peters is.
Yeah, right. Like yes, of course you work in the movie industry. Everything you say is lies. Okay, fine.
He's a good old-fashioned gobshite.
All right, but let's please just give me Star Trek with attractive people. There you go. So everything's forgiven. Everything's forgiven. Oh, love the room for graphics.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
I am super excited. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be amazing.
I'm honored. I'm honored to be a part of this story and this world, this universe, and just the legend that it holds behind it.
And of course, she's attractive enough to be in Star Trek. Attractive enough to be in Star Trek. Everything's fine.
She just about made that line.
She did. She did. It was a question, and I went, "This is good. This is good." She gets the stamp of approval.
Excited more for the fans. And so when you do something of this quality, I really expect everyone to embrace it.
Why I got into this is to tell stories and to make people feel things. So if I can do that in any facet, I'm on board. Literally.
I'm on board too with you.
Okay, I didn't say anything about. I didn't feel. You want me to feel things that you've achieved everything you wanted in acting. That is very good. I feel many things, and I'm very glad I feel them. Thank you for that feeling.
We're happy. Then I'm more than happy, you know. Yeah. And thank you, Star Trek.
And cut.
That's actually something we don't see in movies and TV shows now. Is a red-haired person.
Right.
They apparently have vanished.
Right, they're happy to do it. Is there a date at the end of this? I hope the date's going to come out at the end of this. Excellent. Again, I paid for this. I should bloody know.
That's a failing on Mr. Peters' part, isn't it? The name Axanar, guys. Keith, is this like drenched in Trek lore? Because I'd never really heard of it before this fan film. Is it something that they've picked out of the past?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think it's new. The only Klingon thing that was really in the past is K'Tumba, right?
K'Tumba. Isn't that somebody out the Lion King?
They actually made that as one of the Star Trek Continues thing, either Star Trek Continues or Star Trek Phase 2. They made a version of it, and it was going to be it would significantly change the way we viewed the Klingon world, it's okay. It's okay. I think it was the last of the. Who was the first fan film? Kirk. What was his name again?
Oh, that's James Crawley.
Crawley, right? The guy who was an Elvis impersonator. He was also an Elvis impersonator, and you could kind of see it, right? Yeah, he was both. Yeah. So there you go. Right. And that Axanar. Let me see. Shall we just Google when it's coming out?
I tried Googling it last night to see what was what and when and how. And to be honest, I'm amazed this project is still in existence, guys.
Here we go.
Well, there's a lot of legal suits against it, but you can see some notable individuals involved that are like Tony Todd. I mean, Tony Todd is extremely notable. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. Yeah. He's in the movie they did.
Well, he was originally Candyman, and he was also Korn and Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah. And I should caution that Tony Todd won't speak about this project now. He's not involved.
Will he not? No.
Well, most of the named actors have. I mean, obviously, sadly, Richard Hatch passed, but the Gary Graham, the actor who plays Sorrel, reprising his Vulcan role from Enterprise, he left the project as well because of
that's a shame.
Obviously because that was made. Prelude to Axanar was made in 2014, so of course a lot's happened since then, including a new show.
CBS were the biggest proponents of trying to get it taken down and claim lawsuits against it, which is curious because you would think that I don't really understand. I think sometimes with these companies they do step in with this whole nonsense of, well, this is our property. I understand that, and things like this are giving it a boost.
This was a movie that ended the fan films.
And then it could also be better than what they're producing.
Yeah. I've put, because I can't put anything in the main chat, I've put a link in the private chat. I had Vic Moniana, who was the producer and maker of Star Trek Continues. He was on a podcast I did a couple of years back, and he talks a lot about what actually happened and the restrictions on Star Trek fan films. So if you want to share that, I'm happy for you to share that with whoever. I've put it in the private chat.
And isn't it funny how Star Wars fan films are completely encouraged by
and it makes it are they still with Disney? Who knows?
Well, they are.
Well, they're really good like that every time they do one of those D12 things. Sorry, Keith.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is, this whole sort of corporate copyright versus creativity, if you like, that did actually all start with Disney, because it started with the character of Mickey Mouse after it became 50 years old, and Disney basically, you know, got this new law in place for copyright law, so it remains longer, because obviously if that law didn't exist, Star Trek would be public domain now and anybody would be able to make it.
That's with Doctor Who.
So you know, it goes back to Disney, actually, the beginning of all that stuff. So, you know, corporations messing with it.
Fine. Here, one second. I found this article on the website. The decommissioning premieres, so we can let's read this together. Maybe we'll get some information. Where is this?
Yeah, it's funny with the copyright stuff, and ironically as well too. Now Disney owns Marvel, which most of their characters have been ripped off of DC.
Right. Okay. Here we go. So this is the decommissioning, which I assume is one of these films. The great thing about an Axanar is that it's so beloved by Star Trek fans that the other people want to create content for Axanar universe. Okay, well, no, I want to hear about your Axanar movie, not somebody else. I don't want to hear about the Axanar fan film of the fan film.
That seems a bit weird.
Yeah, no, tell me about the bloody movie. I mean, like, yeah, it looks good. Looks very good. Something about COVID, blah, blah, blah. What? Okay, let's have a look at the Axanar.
I managed to, because I went down a bit of a rabbit hole with this afternoon, and I managed to find a video that was literally made last month with Alec Peters giving an update of what was going on.
Okay,
and and what he said was that all principal photography production is completed. It's completely finished. So all that's remaining to do on it now is post-production work, which could take some time, because that obviously
there's still plenty done, isn't there?
Well, there's quite a bit done, but there's still a lot to do. But the thing is, I mean, obviously he didn't mention in this little update anything about, you know, where things stand with him with regards to all these lawsuits and all the trouble that he's in with numerous parties about you know, owing money and using stuff. So, you know,
but didn't they say that he could do a 15-minute version?
Debt, right? Worst case scenario, somebody can seize the worst case scenario. Somebody can seize the footage as a debt and then finish the film. Right, that we're going to get the film either way.
It looks like we're going to see it, yeah, no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't it supposed to be that they allowed, after all of this, that he could do a 15-minute cut out of however long it was meant to be originally?
Okay, fine. I've just got this message. Rabbi, if you want the whole gory story on Axanar, please either contact Robert Myburn Burnett or check out the video on the subject. I'm not going to watch the video right now, but we'll get
from what I was told, and it may have changed because this was 2 years ago, but when I had Vic on and he discussed this, what he said was the restrictions were you could only make 2 15-minute films, and you weren't allowed to have any sequels or prequels or anything. They had to be standalone, and they had to be 15 minutes. You couldn't use any characters or any actors that have appeared in previous Star Trek properties.
You use the actors as well? That's horrible.
Yeah, you're not allowed to even any crew member, actor, anything. In fact,
which is why that Gary guy left.
Wouldn't be able to do it because you're not allowed to use anyone that's been involved in anything that CBS has commissioned with regards to Star Trek.
Wow.
So. But that may I don't want to sit here sounding like I know it all, because I absolutely don't. That was what I was told, and that was 2 years ago. So the landscape could have changed in that time. I don't know, but that was my understanding of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much right.
I might vanish any second.
Yeah, you're frozen, mate. Oh, we're rabbi-less. We're rabbi-less. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Well,
right now let's get to. Come on, Dan. Let's get to
the Go on. You talk about Vic Mignogna. I mean, if ever there's a guy who could, you know, because it pissed in his pool as well, didn't it, Keith?
It did, totally. Yes.
So for him to be
he was lucky enough to get his series finished before this happened, and that was great because
he was given a warning, though, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, it actually.
There you go.
I implore anyone, by the way, and you know, I've obviously had Vic on the podcast, and I've met him once in person. Lovely guy, but I implore anyone to watch Star Trek Continues, because in my opinion, it's canon. In my opinion, and it bridges right the way up to Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which is another film I love.
Skip the second episode. Move straight on to the third.
Check it out.
But I love
the first one. Is great.
I love the ship council they bring in, the additional character. She works perfectly in that mix. You know, she's fantastic. She fits in wonderfully. She's a great addition, and it feels so organic to Star Trek. Really love it. Really.
And there's another Star Trek one that's really good as well. I can't remember what it's called. Another similar vein.
To be fair, there are several really good ones out there. There's something called the Red Shirt Diaries, which is like a little 10-minute chunks, and they don't make that anymore either. But that was all in one set. You know, really, it was just really clever and really warm and quite funny and a little bit sexy. You'd like that one, Rabbi. The Red Shirt Diaries are still out there.
I found all sorts this afternoon. In fact, I found one that was produced in the UK. I'm almost thinking of reaching out to them, by a company called Fix Films and a filmmaker called Gary O'Brien, and they're only 15 minutes. They stick exactly to the Star Trek rules. The CBS Paramount rules, but it's set in the Star Trek: The Next Generation era, and they're actually really good little stories that he's told. And I've been considering emailing him and saying, hey man, if you want any actors for it, I'll do it for free, obviously. So yeah. There's loads out there. There's loads of good stuff out there if you dig around. And I wasn't aware of this one. And as I said, been down a rabbit hole all afternoon with this, and it's amazing.
I know a few people who lost a fair bit of money on this project. You know, like the Rabbi, he said he's popped off again. They've got him. Alex Peters.
They've got him.
It sounds like it. So I know people who've lost, they view that they've lost it. It looks like they're going to finally get it. But in their hearts, they sort of detached from this project because it did look like not only that we weren't going to get it, but that the lawyers had stepped in and the whole thing was illegal in the first place. And they felt somewhat sort of conned out of their money because it happened in waves, in chunks. So, the initial funding to make the prelude, which I think is about 15 to 20 minutes long, that original prelude to Axanar. But of course, once that was produced, all the people who backed that, it's the ultimate characters, and it's what we can have an hour's worth of that, and even better, even bigger. So of course, the same people backed it again, and then again, because it's all done in tiers, isn't it? There's a very strict way that it's managed. But of course, since all that, I mean, when did Rabbi said this came out? The prelude came out in 2014. Oh, you said that, didn't you, Keith?
Yeah, that's right. The prelude was 2014, and so the I think the lawsuit thing happened in 2015, I believe, and that's when they put the restrictions on.
It was pretty sharpish because they stepped in and said, look, you don't make Star Trek, we make Star Trek, and of course, so what did the fans say? Well, you're not making any bloody Star Trek, are you? But I
found it. Star Trek: New Voyages. That's another fan series from 2014.
There you go.
Yeah,
he's back.
We just had a momentary brownout here in Israel. Every year at about this time of year, and then around April, May, the power goes out every now and again. So they always get amazed when it starts to rain and when it stops raining. Starts raining and stops, both of those things. The electric company is like, oh my God, I've never seen that thing before. Every year they freak out. I mean, how are you amazed by this? It's incredible. Just every
country's like that, Rabbi, isn't it? Like, you always have things that you're saying to yourself, how did you do this? I mean, I know in Ireland, like when snow hits here, it's like our airport go, we've never seen this before, and it's like we've had years of snow. What do you mean?
Have you ever seen this before? Like, why can't you just say it's going to snow and things are going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Shit happens. I totally agree. Body naked. That's just the way it is. I forgot about the chat entirely. 1 second. Let me go catch up with everybody. Fine.
Noel's in there. PD Rich is in there. I can see. Chris Persia's been in there as well. Dave travels through time.
Oh,
sorry, Rabbi, I'm doing your gig now. I'm sorry.
No, go. Retro Dickie's here. Leland Gaunt, how you? Oh, Leland Gaunt. Are you the Leland Gaunt from Doctor Who and the companion? Not the companions. The what's it called again? The champions. The champions. Who else we got here? We got David Rayner. TARDIS Time is here. I will say TARDIS Time is a good time, but I will get in a lot of trouble. By the way. No, I'm not going to say it. I was just going to do something to debate people who are clearly watching. That sounded. No, I'm not going to do it. Disaster Era. How you doing, Chris Persia? How you doing, Chris Persia? The king of the wrenches.
Does Noel want to come on?
What?
Does Noel want?
I've already said no. If he wants to come on, I've already sent him the link. If he wants to, he can. I think it's his night off. And I do not want to get him in trouble with his good lady.
Yeah, he had a night of it. He had a night of it yesterday, so I think today is the.
He's having a good time of late. But good. PD Rich, I think we said hello to you. But how are you doing anyway? No, I finally found you there. No, in the chat. What's going on? I think we got everybody. Fine.
And Dave travels through time.
Dave travels through time. Let me pull up this article from Radio Times. We can read this together. Anybody can stay. Anybody can go. Whatever you want to do. It is all cool.
Right. I've got to stay for Radio Times. If it's my friend Hugh.
I don't know who it is.
Full of crap. Oh, great.
Yeah, let's see what he's got for us today. There's something new. No, not going to bother with that. There we go. Here, let me check this window.
Which genius is this?
We can look together, right? Here we go. So
Shillerton, yeah.
It's
okay,
we got a few Doctor Who stories. We got Doctor Who Stephen Moffat releases original Blink draft with ending very different. Don't care. And I'll read the story from you.
It's not that different.
So yeah, well, between these two stories, it's got to be this one. Christian one does a good thing. I mean, like, I don't want to take the piss out of him because he gives charity, even though if it's different. I mean, I'm not even going to say it's disingenuous, right? I don't want to take the giving charity is a good thing. I don't want to take the piss out of him, but I might. But I don't want to. I won't do it. So instead, they got this exclusive. This is exclusive to nobody. Who is this exclusive to?
Canon breaking more than groundbreaking.
So yeah, it says a Fugitive Doctor was groundbreaking. Like, who is that supposed to be exclusive to? They've been screaming that since the moment she walked on screen. How is that exclusive? You've been telling that to anybody who would listen. You've been like jumping them on the street and screaming in their face. And like, how is that exclusive?
Well, exclusive is a meaningless word now in the modern mainstream media. It just gets plastered across everything all the time to grab your attention.
This reminds me of a time when of my youth, I used to like to frequent Tottenham Court Road and Leicester Square, which are very fabulous and awfully seedy places. Two things I like. They were awfully.
Not like you, mate.
So that was it. So yeah, you could go from a really good Chinese and walk through a bunch of sex shops to get there. It just seemed the right thing to do when I was 14, right? They just seemed to work well. But fine. But right outside Leicester Square Station, there was a sex shop. And I remember reading it on the outside. It said books, videos, magazines, toys, whatever these things, edibles, like all these things you can imagine. And then it said novelties. I'm like, what could be novel? If that comes after anal beads, what's novel? Really? Is it these are? I mean, actually, one story I totally demonetized for was when I found there was a company that made adult toys that were geeky. And they had a sonic screwdriver that one could use, to pleasure. But the thing I found, and there was a husband and wife couple in New Zealand or Australia. I wanted to get them on the channel to talk to. It started off as a goof, and then I started reading their site, and they were so earnest about what they did. But what they were doing so weird. They were making my favorite thing they made, which I just thought was very inventive, was the Pikachu butt plug. Right, a little a tail from one of those Pokemon. I thought that's in character. That's totally right. I like that. That's very, very inventive. So they had a lot of stuff like that. But they
no one knew what to get you for your birthday.
Honestly, I would frame it. I would be so happy. I would love telling my wife what it is. Because one time we were in Amsterdam, and there was this shop of like of a gazillion dildos. I've never seen this many dildos ever. I tried to get her to take a selfie in front of it without her noticing. Unfortunately, she noticed. So she said no. Another time, I was on holiday with my family in Alat, and there was the last sex shop in the entire world was on the boardwalk of Alat, right? The last sex shop probably ever. And I tried to get the family to do a selfie in front of it, but my son was too smart and he noticed. But yeah, unfortunately, my plans. So yeah, what? So again, what's exclusive? Nothing's novel after all that. Fine. Doctor Who Joe Martin says her casting as a future Doctor was groundbreaking. It was a year ago. We know. Did you not hear that like constant crushing of broken glass? That used to be fandom. We walk around the devastated, aftermath of your nuclear explosion.
What would be groundbreaking if these people actually were able to create a solid show and a solid fan base on their own instead of having to hijack other properties.
Oh, absolutely.
That'd be groundbreaking.
Okay, I was honestly, she was kind of okay. She was better than Jodie Whittaker. She took it seriously. I hated her costume. It didn't really work for her. She couldn't move properly in it, right? And it didn't. She wasn't playing it like a old-fashioned doctor. It wasn't playing it like in a traditional doctor. She should have had a more. She should have more something flowy and African, right? That's basically.
She should have worn something that looked a little less like
it. The Doctor's supposed to be from Gallifrey or wherever they're from now.
Or no, wherever they're from, this doorway in the middle of nowhere that maybe.
The main problem with what she's wearing is it looks like it was just bought that afternoon. Just put this on, love. It's like she's never worn.
It's like Topshop.
Never worn it before in her life. And as much as I've seen Jo Martin, I've seen her on Twitter. She seems like a really nice woman, and she certainly, as I've said on this show before, I've said on my show before, she understands this part. But they keep putting her in situations now where they get to say stuff that I wouldn't say it's particularly stupid, but it's just going over the same ground. How many times can this poor woman be badgered and asked the same questions over and over again? I'm starting to really feel quite sorry for her, not just because she's fallen in.
You want to find out what happened. Like, is this from an interview that was like 6 months ago she gave?
Probably.
Again, Doctor, if they were smart, which I don't think they are, they were smart. The way out the mess they're in is end Jodie Whittaker, and then without explaining it at all, don't regenerate her, don't do anything, just do a Dr. Joe season, just have her in the TARDIS, don't explain what's going on, what happened to Jodie Whittaker, and have her just do standalone, fun Doctor Who type adventures. Like have Paul Cornell write it, he could do a decent job. Have him, over it, and in the final episode, have Jodie Whittaker back and explain where she's been.
Stop rewarding failure.
But then they've won, right? Then they've won, and it's over, and it's like, and we get something that's not. We don't have to hear Jodie Whittaker anymore. Oh God, she's so awful. Right?
Are we done with the Star Trek stuff then?
We are done with the stuff. Although I do have to ask you, what was your thoughts on? And nobody attack him. Nobody attack him. What was your thoughts on Discovery this week?
Oh, easy. Go to Let's See What's Out There, the latest podcast where I go into it.
Good man, like a pro.
And you can hear it then.
You still like this? I mean, are you still enjoying it? And I don't mind if you are. I'm interested.
Yeah, I am, and I thought that the last episode that you guys were on, there was no one defending it at all.
I know.
So I'd love to have been on.
If we ask him nicely, Rabbi, if we ask him nicely, he'll come on Warp Drive next week and give us a bit of that.
The trouble is, we can't find anybody who can it's you. I don't know anybody else. If I knew somebody, I'll bring them. And I'm not being a dick about. I mean, I'm being a bit of a dick, but that's like
I'll make an appeal. I'll make an appeal on Twitter later.
Less than this, right? This is the least dickish I can be, and it's not my fault it turned out that way. I just don't know anybody who could go, yeah, okay, I'll defend it. I just don't know.
To quote a Star Wars line, I do have a bad feeling about this. You know, but at the moment, I really don't see what the problem is. At the moment, I think it's fine, but we'll see where it goes. You know, and everybody, and as far as I'm concerned, everybody's entitled to their opinion. So you know,
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's like I say the same thing about the Jodie Whittaker fans. I'm glad they're enjoying it.
We still love you, Keith. We still, even though you're wrong, we still love you.
The thing is, you have such an authoritative voice. You know, you're so. I mean, not just you're timid, but like. Because you're generally speaking very, very well balanced, I would say, you know, like at least you can pretend to be, right? it's like, well, God,
I'll tell you what, though, you know, as you've asked me, I may as well go into this now. One of the things I did agree with yesterday when I was listening to this was, I think it was Problem Being who actually said it, was when he talked about how ideology has become the new nepotism within Hollywood. And, you know, I have to completely agree with that. I mean, I know exactly what you mean. It's not that I don't see these things. I know exactly what you mean. And I have many issues with Discovery seasons 1 and 2. But as far as season 3 goes so far, I'm okay with it.
You're the
most
I've ever met. Happy for you. You're the most
but I understand. I mean, I'm not saying, oh God, you know, you shouldn't say that. You know, I totally understand what you mean, and I get it. I do. But likewise, I do think that there's some baggage being carried over at the moment.
Totally there is. Like,
some bias.
I can't get over hating all the characters. I try to.
They're not all bad. They're not all bad. Come on.
I don't even know half these characters after 2 seasons. Who are they? Who's the blonde one?
I need to leave before I get crucified on
I was wondering though, Keith, just going back to the Axanar thing. Now you've seen a bit of Axanar, which you said you weren't aware of that before, but now you've seen that because there's always been, for years, there's been conflict about this. What's your gut instinct tell you about Axanar? Do you think that CBS absolutely did step in at that point in history, not just close down fan films, but say, and that's a good idea, we'll take that and we'll make it our own way? You know, or do you think that's a bit of a conspiracy theory?
Well, I think definitely.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I honestly definitely think that corporate greed has had a lot to do with this, and it is detrimental to creativity, because I don't see anything wrong with people making fan films if they're not making money out of them. There's nothing wrong with that. However, my understanding is that there was some politics behind this particular fan film, and things weren't done properly. I'm very loyal to Vic.
Right?
I mean, Vic is a lovely guy, and Star Trek Continues is all there for everyone to see, and that's a great thing. This does look very good, though. I did watch the prelude, and it looked interesting, and I'd like to see it. But there's definitely some bad stuff that's happened behind the scenes, apparently.
Well, Vic was completely transparent, and you know, Rabbi, you went and you looked on the website there to find more information. You could find F4, and this is always the problem with Alex Peters. The entire time,
and I paid for it.
The entire time, he has never been transparent about. He's asked people for certain amounts of money, said certain things are going to come, like, you know, incentive patches to sew on their jackets, and they've never been delivered on time. He's not transparent remotely.
It happened with a lot of fandoms, though. Like even with sorry, go ahead, Dan.
Well, that was why. You see, if he'd have been as transparent as Vic was, everything would have been fine. So what was he hiding? He's clearly, Rabbi, you could tell, he's old school. He's been in the industry for a long time. He knows where every frigging penny of that money was.
It happens
Yeah.
in a lot of
And
fandom
unfortunately,
as well, yeah.
unfortunately, this has, whether it's right or not, this has ruined it for the fans, and it's ruined it for future or alternative Star Trek fan films as well. So
was going to make 18 of those, wasn't he?
Yeah, so I, I watched that, and I think the trailer does look great, absolutely. And of course, I wish I was in it, obviously. But likewise, I do sometimes think, well, if they're the ones that have ruined it, then they've got themselves to blame, sort of thing. But I don't know that for a fact, though. Obviously,
here's a question for Keith from Eastland Burkholder in the chat. Name a good character and what you like about the character from Discovery.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you to Eastland, because Eastland was on my
no, you can't mention the name.
live stream that I did on Saturday on Psycho. So and participated a lot. So I really appreciated that. I know it's unpopular, but I like the character of Michael Burnham, and I think she's great. Yeah, I do. I don't have a problem with
That's one you can name. That's one you can name. Name the other crew.
No, I'm not mad at you. I'm
fascinated.
I'm not mad. I'm like, good, I'm glad you enjoy it. Well, I'm fascinated. Wow.
Oh.
It's the weirdest thing. I mean, like, again, I'm not. It's like I'm just fascinated. How?
Okay, but let me tell you. Okay, I'm going to really upset the apple cart if I say this, but you see,
no, it's not. You can say anything.
I'm not. I don't understand how anyone likes Doctor Who. Right? I don't get it. So that's what I mean. I feel as perplexed about that as you do about me liking Star Trek Discovery. So it's but I don't think you shouldn't. I don't think you shouldn't like it or shouldn't watch it. I just don't get it. That's
honestly. I mean, I Discovery. I don't understand how anybody likes it, but I also think Discovery is evil. Is like just evil.
Oh, it's not.
Its existence is evil, is pure evil. There's that as well, and I don't mind you for liking it, but I do genuinely believe it to be evil. Like its existence is evil. That's just the way I look at it now. I just can't see it any other way. But I'm not mad at you for what?
Well, whatever.
No,
that's that.
No, but it's like I agree. You've had me on Lower Decks episodes and whatever, right? And which I didn't like at all. And I agree that the franchise has been badly managed. I agree totally with that, right? But I don't necessarily think that these first 3 episodes of Discovery are bad, and I'm willing to give it a chance. And that's all I'm saying.
But the problem is though is that you've had 2 pretty bad seasons, and even if season 3 is an improvement, you've already lost half of the fandom. I mean, if you look at Westworld, for example, Westworld started off very well. Season 1 was praised by everybody. By season 2, they went woke, but then season 3, they tried to course correct again, and they lost half of their viewers.
Right.
You've got to start off by hitting the ground running, just like the Mandalorian has. Star Trek needs to do the same with Discovery.
Ninja Knight, you make a good point, because I was one of those people. I absolutely love Westworld season 1. I was really disappointed with Westworld season 2, and I began Westworld season 3 and stopped after 3 or 4 episodes.
Well,
so you are right. You're absolutely. I think it's my love of Star Trek, because I had problems with season 2 of Discovery, and I almost gave up on that at one point. So you make a valid point. I also think, though, if you look at the way they're structuring season 2, season 3, they are trying to obviously attract a new a new set of fans because it is essentially a reboot.
Exactly what you said
They
is
tried that
about
with
earlier on
Doctor
about the
Who, and they
ideologies
didn't.
and them getting around by ideologies. I think you're absolutely spot on by what you're saying, because these people have moved around these various platforms. You see the likes of J.J. Abrams moving around now with this ideology, and I think now they started to figure out it hasn't worked. I mean, look, you've seen the same sort of ideology starting in the CW with the Flash. You've seen it with Batwoman. You've seen it with, they're going to do it with Green Lantern now at HBO Max, because Greg Berlanti and Mark Guggenheim are going across there, who are two names that people like to overlook, but they are very much so the problem with what happened with CW. And the same type of ideologies have moved around to different places, and they have got guys like Kurtzman as well too that are in there. Look,
Kurtzman said, didn't he? He actually said that it's
that it's used for a platform.
It's about platform for political movements.
That's alarming.
I agree, and all those people that you mentioned there, it's a shame they've jumped on that bandwagon because J.J. Abrams has produced some really great content over the years. Greg Berlanti and his team did an excellent job of setting up the Flash, the Arrowverse on much better job than they did with the movies, to be fair. So he did a great job of that. And the thing with Alex Kurtzman, let's be honest, right? Alex Kurtzman, when he was partnered up with Roberto Orci, who is a Star Trek fan, they were, I was liking the output. Since those guys have parted way for whatever reason, I agree. Alex Kurtzman is clearly not a true Star Trek fan. But some of the people he's hired this season, like Michelle Paradise and Jenny Lumet and whatever, they're trying to get this back on track. And
right, but you think, can I ask you, Keith, right, because you are a fan, but you think that, when Kurtzman came out on that Trek panel and said that Star Trek it's not about storytelling, it's about, using it as a platform, for me, that was the point of no return.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous comment. I agree.
To be honest with you, as a fan,
I think that's where he lost. I think again that's where he lost a lot of fans. He shouldn't be coming, even if he is using the franchise for that. He shouldn't be coming out and saying it publicly anyway. You know what I mean? The rest of them have had the decency not to come out and say it publicly, but he came out straight and said it. And I'm just baffled by that. I get you. I'm a Star Trek fan myself. I absolutely adore Star Trek more than Star Wars, right? I am a Trekkie. I love the bloody every single Trek show that they've done, except for Deep Space Nine, maybe. But I'm gonna rewatch that again because I was younger when that was out. So
you like it's really good. That's my favorite.
I've been watching all the other shows again. And this Discovery just doesn't have a patch on it. And I know they are trying to do something different. That's great. But the thing about it is you go so far away from canon and you start breaking it, and then you start introducing these characters and it makes no sense. And I'm with the rest of the panel. I don't know how you like Michael Burnham, because that character is just, I think, one of the reasons why a lot of Discovery fans don't like the show anyway.
Have you seen Lower Decks?
Well,
Lower Decks is bad, but this Discovery, I think, is worse.
I have to distract everybody. I need to try and decipher this message that was sent to me. No one in Hollywood fall into a starship set and tell 45 minutes of space opera. It cannot be done. What's he saying?
He's saying what he's saying is that nobody seems to be able to take up the reins and actually do the job that can be done. I mean, I think that's an important point that Keith made there. Absolutely. I think that's what Keith is saying there. He's saying, when the attachment of Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman together, and for me now, knowing as a Transformers fan, that first movie, particularly with Transformers, they were involved heavily within that. Now, I mean, there was an awful lot of stuff that had to be. There was an awful lot of stuff that was there that had to be done right and did eventually get done right, but they had the guidance of Steven Spielberg on that first movie. But I could tell people from years beforehand that they were a problem, because when they wrote The Revenge of the Fallen, there was currently a writer's strike at the time, and they were left to their own devices. They were those two, and Revenge of the Fallen came out, and I think anybody that's not a Transformers fan looks at that movie and goes, what is happening here? I mean, I understand what the Matrix is. I know who the primes are. but the average Joe audience doesn't. Whereas if you sit the average Joe audience down and they watch the first one, they're like, oh, everything is explained. It's just two guys fighting against each other essentially with their own armies. It's like small soldiers. It's very basic, but it's done well. But they had the overarching look of Steven Spielberg there. But like you said, Pete, when these guys go on then, and when they split apart, because I think you're correct, that 4 Star Trek movie is really good. I mean, my own dad is a big Trekkie, and he was like, Jesus, like everybody that's in this movie is really taking off the characters very well. Your man's like Nimoy, he's like Shatner, and then you get down to Into Darkness, and people are like, "That's Khan."
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I mean, with regards to Transformers, obviously that's from my childhood as well, and you know, I love the first film, and I love Bumblebee, but the rest of the Transformers universe, I have no interest in whatsoever.
I mean, listen, I was interested in it, and then when they had the in the third one, they transitioned insanely without even mentioning it, right? I kind of love that they did that. They said, "Oh, look, now this dweeby guy who was dating this insanely hot woman is now dating this other insanely hot woman, and we're not even going to mention it because they're totally irrelevant and interchangeable and disposable." I mean, like, she could have written on her forehead.
So they used one of the robots to discuss that plot point, which I actually thought was quite well done. And I have to say, the third movie you see that wasn't written by those two. They brought in a guy called Erin Kruger, who his name has floated around as well too in different projects that are going on in Hollywood. And he made some of the changes. Like, for example, in the original '86 movie, Leonard Nimoy was involved as Galvatron, who we all know as Spock, of course. And they brought him back then as Sentinel Prime, who was the defector from the Autobots. And he quotes even Spock within the movie, and not only that, then he also the 2 robots that are sitting on the couch are actually watching the episode of when Spock goes nuts, and they reference it like that. Like the third movie doesn't get enough love. I don't think. I think it's really good. You know,
I mean, the thing is with all of these franchises, you know, where big studios and stuff are involved, is you know that they're to an extent they're made by committee, and you know, when you look at a fan film like Star Trek Continues or this Axanar project or whatever, you're talking about people who are Star Trek fans, but they're not, because they're making a fan movie, they're not answering to anyone, so they can make it exactly how they want to make it. Obviously, Hollywood sadly doesn't work that way. It never has done, and it's really hard to make things independent.
Well, I think Star Trek fans have already made up their mind which they prefer, and they prefer that fan film. I've watched it myself. I think it's very interesting.
But they haven't just ignored the fans.
Did the CBS or something like sue them or something, or try to stop the project from going ahead? And then I don't know. Listen, it's the dirty tactics of these companies as well. Listen, if fans want to make a fan film, why not? Why not? They're promoting the.
They would do this. Firstly, they would just they'll buy Axanar and just make it and put it on their sodding platform. And finally, Star Trek fans would actually want to go to CBS All Access.
But this is the point of what I'm saying, though.
But
the fans.
Yeah.
Okay, you finish your point.
But secondly, they should greenlight fan films and say you can make fan films, but they got to, and they should even facilitate it. Maybe have an open set that they whatever want fan films, and then they can only be used on their platform. Right?
Why not? Not a bad idea. You see the thing
this goes back to my point where it's not that they don't listen to fans anymore. They actively go against the fans. They demonize the fans.
Yeah, exactly.
This is something that can't be stated enough.
Which is very sad.
All in the pretense that we're just going to find a new audience and sod you lot, you know, basically.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They want to insert the old audience and insert a new audience, but what they don't realise is that's a highly dangerous game to play. You can actually have a franchise that can appeal to both the casual plus, and they won't do that. They won't do that. We see it with Doctor Who. We see it with Star Trek. We see it with Star Wars. They won't listen to fans. If they just listen to fans, you can make these franchises. Russell T proved that you could do it. You can bring in a new audience
the
as well as
Hedgehog
maintaining the
that
old
as well.
audience.
Sonic the Hedgehog listened to the fans, and it
Yeah.
vastly improved their product, and it was a blockbuster.
And you know, most franchises, the Orville, Battlestar Galactica, you know, these productions worked hand in. I mean, Battlestar Galactica. I can't think of a production that had a closer relationship with the fan base. It was in like those the podcasts that what's it Ronald Moore put out each week. They were so intimate.
They were great. Yeah.
And then,
I listened to literally every single one.
Yeah.
I watched every episode of Galactica with the commentary, and it was so informative. It was wonderful. Yeah,
carried on
You
with
do
everybody
have two-
involved in it as well.
Yeah, and they did things like they had fans get married on set and things like that. And then you know they're in the little videos they put out on Sci-Fi, right? And they say, "Listen, don't buy. You're all going to ask. The answer's no. No, this is one time. Never. It's never going to happen again. Don't even bother. I know you're going to ask, but don't bother." You know.
But to me, like there is two sides of Hollywood, and I think there's probably a perfect analogy that you can use at the moment. If anybody's seen Lady Gaga's video from the other day, where she was disdainfully talking down to people and being like, "I'm going to be in these states, and you better vote for who I want," basically saying like, you know, you guys better affirm yourselves to us.
By the way, has anybody heard anything with the election? What like? Who
I think it's in the late hours of Irish time anyway. But the point I'm making is, then you have like Jon Favreau, who's saying like, "I've invited George Lucas on set, and he's putting out videos and been like, okay, this is me actively listening to the fans. He's showing you that this is what he wants to do. He wants to please the fans." And I think it's a very precarious, I think going back on the point as well that was made earlier about fan films, it's a very precarious statement and very precarious thing, and the way they do it, because I know myself, we're in the Power Rangers fandom. There's been two large fan films that were greenlit. One was called The Order, and that featured a number of ex-Power Ranger actors, and it was headed by a woman called Karen Ashley. Now, that has not come to fruition. It's quite Power Rangers-esque, but it's not come to fruition, and the money's disappeared under Karen Ashley. Now, when she's challenged about that, she blocks you immediately and doesn't want to know. These things can't be discussed as well on Power Rangers forums. So that's one danger that you have with the fan film. And then, unfortunately, the likes of Haim Saban and Hasbro at the time would have been affiliated, and you know, they would have looked bad with that. Whereas if you the other side of it, where you have Jason David Frank, who's the original Green Ranger and then White Ranger, he goes to Kickstarter and he's like, well, if this project doesn't get funded, you all get refunded. So I think if that's been greenlit and been overseen a little bit, I think that the companies wouldn't have so much of a problem when they can say, well, look, it's not going to affect our product. It's not going to affect you returning to the show. Because the first thing I'd be thinking if Karen Ashley came back to the show, I'd be like, I'm not watching that. She stole money from fans. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a precarious position where fan films are considered, personally.
Wait, what was the one with Katie Sackhoff?
Katie Sackhoff. I think she did the R-rated one. Was it the R-rated Power Ranger one?
That's right.
I like that one, but I never.
It's got the guy out of Dawson's Creek in it as well. It was spectacular.
Vanderbeek, wasn't it? Vanderbeek, was it? Yeah.
I love Power Rangers. Love the Power Rangers fan base. They're really creative people.
Oh man, I'll have to have you on my channel and talk about the Power Rangers then, because nobody talks about it.
Bit after my time.
Right, I mean, it should be big now. Listen, first thing, not first thing. Can I ask everybody? I'm only about 2 hours late doing this. Can you hit the subscribe button? That'd be very nice. About that. If you subscribe, other than making me very, very happy, making me, I would say, embarrassingly happy. I'll feel one or two warm splatterings of pleasure if you would hit that, that subscribe button. So that's one thing, but also you can enter my ongoing my weekly competition. Prize this week, freaking awesome one, Judge Dredd, Dark Side of the Moon. This is Judge Dredd Adventures on
Mr. Bolland.
What? This is Brian Bolland cover. Here, I'll make it big. 1 second.
Wow.
Tell you, it's not often I say I'll make this big. She cried.
Oh, very nice.
Rabbi, you've got to say ring that little bell because someone likes it.
Little bell, yes, she cried.
Yeah.
Throughout the history of Dredd, the moon, there was a lunar colony from Mega City Wonder Moon that Judge Dredd was a marshal of. That is very early Brian Bolland. You see him like beginning of his craft. And you see him develop like almost instantly into the Brian Bolland. Absolutely fabulous. All you need to do, subscribe to the channel, subscribing the important part, subscribe to the channel. And of course, you know, it was said of Abraham that those who blessed him, they themselves were blessed. And I don't want to guarantee you that will happen to you if you hit the subscribe. I don't want to guarantee you, but I have heard stories of people like winning the lottery as soon as they click the subscribe button. I've heard tell of riches and wealth raining upon people, of them developing a bizarre sexual magnetism, just by killing that. So of course, we must know results may vary. But anyway, you can hit the subscribe button and in the comments leave the hashtag Dark Side of Dredd. Dark Side, if that's it's in the video, whatever that's in there. Dark Side of Dredd. I think it's dark.
Can I just say?
I'd love to stay and chat, but as you know, it is me day off, and the wife wasn't too pleased yesterday, so I just kind of sneaked in to sneaked into the room so I could do this. So listen, thanks for having me on.
Great T-shirt.
I'll see you all tomorrow. See you all tomorrow, Wednesday. So I think that's it. So seeing me fellow white supremacists. Apparently we're all white supremacists on this channel. So see you later.
Bye.
Good night, man. Good to see you.
Bye. Have a good one. See you, Keith. See you, Dan. See you, Lee. Ninja Knight. See you, myself. And see you, Rabbi. See you later. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure.
Bye now.
Bye.
Will you leave the studio? I'm trying to leave the studio. I'm on my phone.
Oh, dear.
God, man.
What are we supposed to be doing? I think the Family Guy Star Wars.
I think we're supposed to be saying anti-Semitic things like we've been accused of. Which is ironic.
That was really strange this morning. I saw that there was a really weird tweet by that guy. He's got quite a big YouTube channel, isn't he? I think I retweeted it.
They brought him in because we were like handing their arse to them, just embarrassingly. I was like, oh boy, it was such a drubbing. It was terrible. Okay, fine. Again, listen, I don't want to. By the way, if anybody, we would just say this, and I do not want to dwell on this or have a conversation. I do want to have a conversation. If there's the stories like this, if there is there's been this harassment account in the Doctor Who fandom. If anybody finds themselves being harassed by them, I'm going to be putting out a graphic that you can just, if you want to reply at all, it doesn't matter. They are a hate group. They fit the definition of a hate group, and they don't know what to do about it because they don't know what to do about it, and they're just like, what? They have nothing to say. They are a hate group. If you are targeted by them, as you may be, I'm going to put a graphic out. If you want to respond, you can just post that graphic on whatever they're saying essentially that you're a hate group. What you say doesn't matter. What you say doesn't matter, which is the reason they've been having this as utter meltdown, because the reason they exist is to they like to annoy people, other people that they don't like. They like to annoy them and get under the skin. So they screen grab things you say and they'll stand around and laugh. That was annoying until they became a hate group.
And the worst part is that they are so smug about it and sanctimonious. I think the key word is sanctimonious.
So again, if you're talking about nothing they say matters anymore. So it is so completely over. Fine.
Apparently, talking about shellfish to two religious men of myself and Svi is no problem on multiple occasions, and actually doing it. But when I point out that somebody has a pattern of attacking Irish people, 3 in fact now at this stage, apparently that's not a pattern and that's all in my head. But these guys, I'm no cactus expert, but I know a prick when I see one. There's plenty of them.
Nice one.
I cannot argue that. I'm glad we went back to that. Fine. Shall we read this article about what they're trying to tell us about Joe Martin?
Oh, you're spoiling us. I'll hang around for this for a little while.
I think with that, it's time for me to go and have some dinner. I'm a bit peckish.
Yeah.
So let's see what's here. So Doctor Who actress. Let's see how long this is. It can't be that long.
No, it's very short.
Okay, it's nothing. Fine. This is nothing. This is such a puff piece. Doctor Who actress Jo Martin has called her casting as a surprise incarnation of the Time Lord groundbreaking. Yeah, okay, fine. Speaking to BBC, the star revealed that black science fiction fans have reached out to her following the unveiling of the future Doctor in the most a lot of black. Oh, God, really? This is just white. Okay, but like
that's true. Some have. I've seen it. Some have, and that's lovely. That's lovely, but it's not groundbreaking.
Well, I mean, it was groundbreaking in that she was the first.
No. Uhura was groundbreaking.
What? Doctor Who was groundbreaking. But
back in the 1960s. I mean, we've moved a long way since then.
Again, I think she did.
Well, I thought we had.
I think she did an okay job with the role, far superior to Jodie Whittaker. But I think it was more of a step backwards. It seems to me to be tokenism rather than.
Of course, it was only cast because of that, and I think that's deeply insulting. Quite honestly,
she's a fine actress, and I don't think somebody should be cast or not cast because their skin color. I just think that's intrinsically wrong. I just think that's wrong. Was it a lot of black geeks who love sci-fi have sent me pictures of them? Yeah, blah blah. Fine, no, very nice. I've seen many black people dressed as Tom Baker, for God's sake. Lenny Henry, for example, was a fan of Doctor Who back in the day, and not seeing myself on screen as a child was tough. You're insane then. For God's sake, how many TV shows had action heroes which were fat Jews? I don't see many. I can't think of any. I think there may have been more black heroes than fat Jews. I guess you had Ensign Finkelstein on the Enterprise, the ship's account. There was that, and nobody really. I don't see myself. So
we've seen many Semitic villains, fat Jewish Semitic villains.
Have you ever seen Batman? All the villains are Jewish. Joker, Penguin, Riddler, they're all Jews.
I hadn't noticed.
It's very strange. Like, which Jewish caricature should we fight Batman this week? Should we fight Huey Man? I'm like, really?
Always getting education on this channel every single week.
So I didn't see myself. Oh, shut up! Come on. Okay.
I mean, look, there I'm talking about the Power Rangers there, okay? One of my favourite Power Rangers when I grew up was the black one. Obviously, the black Power Ranger. I absolutely loved them. Then when you move on to the comics, you couldn't believe how ecstatic I was to see the Black Panther coming along. But I mean, I look nothing like those characters. It's a good character. It's a solid character. Once the characters are good and this representation stuff, I don't need to see Irish characters in things. I don't need to see, do you know what I mean? I like the X-Men. Some of my favourite X-Men are obviously worldwide X-Men, like Court Wagner. You've got Colossus as well too. That's in there that I love. But I mean,
not just Banshee then.
Not just Banshee, no. But I mean, I'm not behind it going, why don't you put Banshee in everything? It's like, no, put the other guys there. I like the other guys.
Oh no, when Banshee was training Generation X in the 90s, that was so good.
Who's the older woman? Who's the love interest of Professor X? It was Moira McTaggart.
Moira McTaggart.
Yeah,
she's Scottish.
Yeah,
Scottish. Oh,
yes.
Okay, no. Okay, Foggy's girlfriend in Frank Miller's Daredevil, Born Again. Not Karen Page. That was Daredevil. Did you ever read Born Again? Freaking awesome.
Yeah. Some of the stuff from Frank Miller on the Daredevil stuff is really good. I think that was a real renaissance for Daredevil itself.
Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, Born Again starts off with Karen Page, who's Daredevil's ex-girlfriend, is now a junkie prostitute, ex-porn star living in Mexico who sells his secret identity for some heroin, right? So that sets up the tone for the story, right?
Sounds light and floppy.
Kingpin ends up with Daredevil's secret identity and slowly dismantles his life and destroys him completely. And he has a complete nervous breakdown and then he kind of rebuilds himself. And so it's a really good story. It's got Ben Urich in it.
Can I just interrupt that heartwarming tale there, Rabbi? Just to reference, Mark McCambridge is asking in the chat, Dan, are you going to be hosting another quiz? He means the mighty Geek Lord Overmind, of course, which presently rests
coming back. I want to grab Keith B on my team. You're very knowledgeable, so
let's not forget it presently resides. It is in the care of Noel Glynn from Team Thoughts of the TARDIS.
That you mention it. It's paining me, but
heaven knows what he's doing it in his depraved doing with it over the last few weeks. His depraved way. Mark, more Geek Lord.
Lucky Charms.
We are coming back. We are coming back. So we should just say to Mark, we are definitely coming back. Probably next week, I would imagine. Yes. So thank you for watching.
What we're supposed to be doing tomorrow? We're supposed to be doing something Star Warsy. Maybe we'll do a watch along with Rogue One.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, let's. Okay, I'll talk to Noah about that. Maybe we'll do a watch along.
What happened to the? I thought we were doing one a week. What's happened to that?
No, we constantly they were on Wednesday, then Saturday and Sunday. And boy, Jedi sucked. I couldn't believe how much I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I'm so amazed because I watched it recently. I was
really looking forward to it, and I just kind of bored halfway through. Really,
if you start watching it as the ships come out of hyperspace by the Death Star, freaking awesome. That's the way to watch Jedi, because that's the way I watched it last time, and I had such a good time.
Needs to be a Rabbi cut of that Return of the Jedi.
The Phantom edit of the Phantom Menace is very good as well, which makes it like 20 minutes long, but really good 20 minutes. It's like you get everything you want out of that movie. It's like an extended trailer, and you get everything. Oh, I say, let me make your picture big, whatever that is. It's
it's all right. It's just a coaster.
Oh, okay.
I was just like,
I like that.
I've got them for all the films here, so yeah.
Can see our Back to the Future in the back there, you can as well.
Yeah, well, and I'm wearing the Hill Valley High t-shirt. But yes, I am going to be doing a review of the HD trilogy. I've done an unboxing already, but I'm going to do a review, and I've also got a live stream coming up as well with some special guests. So
excellent.
Watch this space.
Yeah. By the way, okay, what's that? Has everyone put everyone's channels in the chat? I put that last thing you gave me. If anybody isn't if you want to put it in the private chat, I'll just drop them in right now.
Okay.
What's it going to say? Fine. Let me. We're in this article. So fine, yeah. The reason you didn't see yourself much because there weren't many of you. It's called being a minority. You were on TV as much as you were in society, which was fine. Nobody was like, "Ooh, a black person run away." Nobody said that. Nobody was like, "Oh, I'm not going to watch the bill. There's a black person in it." Nobody said that. That never occurred to anyone. No, it's just the supply and demand. And again, you did have some ethnically black. Desmond's, it was freaking awesome. They remember Desmond's. Love Desmond. What else the other show? There was and when it's a show by a minority for a minority, they're normally happy shows. They're not like when it's by white liberals. They're always like, "Oh, I'm so suffering." Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I'm after looking at the guy that they've just signed. I've done a video on it that they've signed. Hasbro have signed to be the creator of Power Rangers, the overall. And I mean, the stuff that he has in his back locker is not good. He's from Manchester. His name is Jonathan Entwistle, and it's very limited stuff, and it's very specific stuff. And I'm not looking forward to seeing this guy become basically the Kevin Feige of the universe.
That does not sound good. That does not sound good. I got to find this picture. It's on my phone, I think, of everything wrong with the BBC.
Have you got enough time to say everything that's wrong with the BBC?
It's all in one picture. It's incredible. Here, I'm going to put it up here. I'm just sending it from my phone. There you go. Look at that. Sometimes Apple stuff actually works. Freaking incredible. I'm always amazed when stuff works. I always like it when I have asparagus and my pee smells like asparagusy. So, I'm like, I feel like I'm working.
I do like asparagus. You can't get asparagus soup here anymore on an offhand topic.
That's very disturbing. Okay, where did the thing come? I heard it go beep, beep, beep. Where'd it go? I'm going to try again. Okay, it's supposed to be in downloads. Okay, I hear it beeping. Where is it? Okay, that down bounced.
Speaking of Transformers, Keith, have you seen the Transformer that turns into the DeLorean that's being released soon?
Oh no, I haven't, but that would be cool to see.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. I want one so much.
You can pre-order on Smith's website. You can. It's under a gigawatt or Transformers Back to the Future crossover.
Wow, that's a mashup. Yeah.
There was a Ghostbusters one, wasn't there, earlier in the year?
I have that one too. And there's a Maverick coming for the Top Gun F-15, I think it is.
That was one of the few Sun movies that I was actually upset.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything wrong with the bloody BBC. Right here. I mean, really? Listen. Okay.
Wow, what a picture.
Nobody has anything against anybody handicapped, right? Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Being handicapped is unusual. Being handicapped means you're in a smaller segment of society. That's okay. Nobody's being upset with you. But when we try and say that this is the generality rather than the minority, which it is, it's like it seems cloying. It seems condescending. And it just seems like it seems like you're using them to feel good about yourself.
That's the problem I've got with it. I'm really happy. I'm sure that they've got some really quite affecting stories to tell, and they seem. And I've no doubt that they're all lovely people in this picture, and I'm happy for them if they're going to get something personally out of telling their story. But I feel the BBC are exploiting these guys. It's just got that taste about it.
It does, doesn't it? That they feel good about themselves.
Yeah, it's like that forced date stuff that they did a couple of years back with the people that had special needs. Like, I mean, it's disgusting stuff, and it opens itself up there. Like, even last week, I seen a video on TikTok that was offending people that were autistic, and it's just like, my God, I mean, you're putting them on TV to be ridiculed. That's what they are doing.
Oh, really?
In my opinion, well, in my opinion, I feel that these people they're trying to ridicule them. I think it's wrong.
No, I can't believe they don't know. They put it on TV to make themselves feel like they're wonderful people.
Oh no, I've no doubt that these people are wonderful people. But what I'm saying is, I know what you're saying about the BBC.
No, they're putting the white middle class pricks are putting them on TV to make themselves the white middle class pricks.
It's virtue signaling, isn't it?
They don't care about these people; they care about themselves.
Yeah, it's virtue signaling. That's what they're doing, unfortunately. So
it's like DC Comics did it yesterday. You've seen the slate that they released yesterday. You've seen the pictures of some of the characters.
I saw the new for Future State, the future Justice League characters that they've, future Teen Titan characters they've got coming up in that. It is absolutely ridiculous. So there's some things on that slate which did interest me on some level or another, but you think, oh my God, it's just
like they've officially now said that this new Green Lantern TV show is going to feature a black female lead, and I was like, okay, because I'm like
Jon Stewart. I've only said Jon Stewart, cool, and then you're like, oh, really?
Jon Stewart should be the lead of that show.
Same one as doing the Bendis thing. Is it going to be another genius black kid who hacked into alien technology or some high technology?
Well, here's the thing. This Green Lantern's going to be a half an alien. So, I mean, she's going to have a problem with this now as well. But I will say this. I would rather Greg Berlanti and Mark Guggenheim fuck that up royally like they did with the Batwoman thing, rather than taking an established character that I love, like Jon Stewart, and making an absolute mockery of him, or a mockery of Hal Jordan, or a mockery of the likes of Alan Scott, which they're going to do. Hal Jordan's there, and Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner is as brash as they get, and I would be very much so fearful, and they are going to use him in that show.
I know they are. Yeah, he's a white man. Yeah, exactly.
I was trying not to be too reactionary because I'm sure some people may know I love Green Lantern. That's very much my favorite ever superhero of any brand. And to see that series get greenlit was a dream come true, really.
Yeah.
And so and then to see this sort of get dripped out, I did trust this team because I think Doom Patrol is a fantastic show. And Berlanti's done that.
Well, I Doom Patrol,
I think Stargirl's a fantastic show. He's been on board with that. And Teen Titans, not so much, but I at least like that it's been made with some conviction. And like Snyder's stuff, they've decided what their version of that universe is going to be, and it's really consistent and it's quite tight. So no problem. And the Swamp Thing show was fantastic as well. Yep. So, but then you hear what they're going to do with Green Lantern, and it's clearly being led by agenda, and they think that that's the most natural thing in the world. And you know what, Ninja Knight, you're right. That's the place I'm going to try and get to. If they're not going to touch these wonderful characters, and that includes Jessica Cruz and people like that, let them go ahead and create it they like, and play around with all this stuff that nobody's going to remember in 5 years' time. I just think it's a massive missed opportunity, like so many missed opportunities at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's exactly what they've done with the Justice League. I mean, they've just race changed everybody and sex changed everyone. I mean, they sex changed Wonder Woman, and it's like, no. Yeah, they've put in a Wonder Boy now that has like parachute pants. You want to say the design for it? It's ridiculous. Yeah. But this is the idea. This is like, we'll just give you the leftovers rather than an all new character. Like, if you give me an all new character that happens to be a black character or happens to be a Latino character or whatever like that, I'm happy as Larry, because you're going to give that person their own platform. And you're going
to create new characters. Stop taking established characters over 50, 60, whatever years old and doing this. To stop.
I'm not
make new characters.
I'm not one to advocate violence, obviously. Not one to advocate violence. But if and terrible that it would happen, that whoever's making these decisions was put through the same scene as Daniel Craig was in Royale.
They need balls first.
I don't believe these people are interviewed seriously. Look at what the director for Black Widow said.
Right, wouldn't it? But really, the only problem is they would only have two pairs of two testicles. But they would have to be able to be regrown every day.
They have to grow them in the first place, Rabbi.
These people aren't seriously interviewed by these companies.
They're strange people. They're strange people in the movie industry.
Well, they keep losing money. Let's see how long it lasts before they run out completely. Sorry, all the funds gone now because the money ran out.
Well, I don't know. They seem to have unlimited funds. So, I can't tell you. Fine. Let's read more about Jo Martin and get mad at her instead. Now, Martin, who hospital CEO Max Jerry in medical drama, Holby City. Exactly there. She fits like there. Like all the Doctor Who actors seem to be like refugees from Slopes right now. Has revealed her own feelings with the cast being cast on both shows. What's really special about these parts? They're groundbreaking. No one would expect a black middle-aged woman to be Doctor Who.
No, because the Doctor is not a black character. It's not a woman character. It's always, for the last 50-odd years, been a white male. Look, Philip Hinchcliffe described the Doctor as an alien trying to be a quintessential eccentric Englishman.
Right.
That's it. That's the description. That's the character.
We can't expect her to be aware of any of that, and her perception of the character. I do understand where she's coming from as somebody who watched it growing up and has obviously had a successful, a steady career as an actress ever since, with it going along on the side, maybe thinking at one time, perhaps I'd like to get a nice juicy part in Doctor Who. Most actors would like a nice juicy part in anything, and particularly something that they know is going to be watched for decades afterwards. But what she's saying about this and about the character, I mean,
it's not groundbreaking. It's character destroying. It's not the character. And trying to shoehorn these things in is done in such a disingenuous way as a shield to actual criticism. They use people of minorities. Like, if they made the Doctor gay, myself being a gay person, I would still be against that because I don't think it's integral to the original character. And I think that this demonization of white males has got to stop. End of.
But it's one thing for her to say what getting this part means to her, and we should, we all take that with the generosity in which it's offered. No, she doesn't have to answer these questions, and take her at face value. That's fine. But it's when they start talking about what it means for the world and what it means for the fan base. And I do wonder: is she genuinely offering that, or are they poking her to answer these questions? That really, she's just taken a job, a nice big juicy job. She's doing the best she can with some pretty shite material. Happy days, and I just feel that this woman now, who's a reasonable actress, she's no bloody Helen Mirren, despite the way people are going on. This perfectly reasonable woman and decent actress is being put in this situation at the head of some sort of car bonnet, as if she's making some big political statement. I really feel for her.
Most actors, they often, they take roles as a job, and they want to act, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're fans of the. Prior to getting the role, that they were fans of the material. So,
I think Jo Martin, to her credit, is a fan of Doctor Who.
Right. Okay. She understands it. She's got affection. She's got affection for it.
I think she heard of it. I think she. Again, I think she had an idea what to do with it, but I don't think she's a fan.
Well, I'm not saying fan as in honestly, she grew up with it. She grew up watching it on TV.
Again, she's aware of it. Honestly, listen. I don't. Doctor Who is one of the few characters where they actually could of change the gender, change the sex, change the color, no problem. I
don't care what colour the Doctor is. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, nobody cares.
You can do it, but you have to do it in a way that's befitting the role and write it in the way that it's addressed.
I always like the idea in a parallel universe instead of Colin Baker, Patterson Joseph was cast as the Doctor, because he was in Neverwhere a few years later.
Doctor Who is not a trophy for a political agenda. It shouldn't be.
Exactly.
I've got a question.
Well, anyway, here
I've got a question. As the guy that doesn't watch Doctor Who and doesn't know anything about New Who at all, but I'm just curious. Did when Peter Capaldi was the Doctor, were people ageist about that?
Yes, they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was considered too old, was he?
Yeah. Probably, possibly, and more than likely, the same people who were cheerleading Jodie Whittaker.
You are right there.
There was less noise, but the guy, they're right. There was definitely a faction that was disappointed, and
there wasn't anything like the shouting, insane, shrill insanity we have today. This is crazy. Like, we disagreed. We said, "Oh, that was a crap episode," and I went, "Oh, I quite liked it," and that was it.
And because I believe that, like a great number of fans, probably the vast majority, I would say, and that's not understating it, believe that the Doctor is a male role. I don't think that it should be even considered problematic or sexist or misogynistic or anything like that.
Of course.
That's such a lousy argument.
Keith, Ian Diaz, our good friend Ian David Diaz, of course, he talks very, very clearly and with great conviction and very convincingly. He talks a very good game that Peter Capaldi should never have been cast in the role. And
really?
You know what? He's for the not that he isn't right for the show. He absolutely was, and right for the part. He certainly was. But at that moment in time, that it was
do you know why?
That it was a mistake.
Do you know why? Because
Ian's probably right.
It's because they brought in David Tennant and they brought in Matt Smith, two young, kind of good-looking guys in the role, and it brought in a huge female fan base who were all going, chipping the Doctor and all the rest of it with Rose and all that kind of stuff. So once we had all this sort of interest, and then they brought in this older guy, and because all of a sudden they couldn't fancy him anymore, they rejected it. And now because of that, of all this pandering, now there's a female Doctor, they think, oh yeah, that will bring them back. Of course they're not interested because they can't ship Jodie Whittaker because, they want a good-looking man in the role. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Honestly, that if you put what's his name, Narrakin, he's my big pick.
Meanwhile, actual fans don't get what they're asking for, which is proper Doctor Who. And none of this nonsense political bullshit postmodernist wank that we all have to fucking endure because someone got their idea in their head that everything needs to be pluralized. It's nonsense.
So one second, let's just finish some postmodernistic wank while we see what I was going to say here. Fine. And on American shows, there's a lot more black representation in terms of status. But what are you talking about? That's nonsense.
That's not true. That is categorically not true.
I remember watching, before I really knew what was going on, I remember watching The Bodyguard, right? That show, and said, why is everybody in command like a black woman? Why is everybody feel like, what's going on?
It's fetishizing it. It's fetishizing it.
That's a great word. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So the black CNO is an amazing thing as well. I feel honored to be both of these. Exactly. Like you feel honored to be as the CEO of a hospital in Holby City. And Dr. Frickin' Ho might be the problem. Can
I just point out, Rabbi, you've got a right tool in the chat there. There's somebody.
Oh, I had him on a timeout earlier. Let me resolve.
Oh, that guy's bonkers.
Who's this cock?
That guy's just bonkers. Never. What can you do? Yeah, that guy's a weirdo. Fine.
Probably is that the OJ Simpson guy? That weirdo was asking me like,
no,
can I come on?
He sounds funnier.
Yeah, and now he was tweeting me earlier on. He's like, let me come on, and I was like,
I don't know. I don't know. Is whatever. Fine. I think with that. Does anybody have anything else they want us to discuss?
We can go back to that girl who was in the Star Trek fan film.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Ninja Knight. He's not connected.
Thanks for this, Rabbi. I've had fun.
Fine. So I don't know if Ninja Knight's gonna be back. I put Keith's. I put Keith in the chat.
Thank you so much.
I don't know what happened there.
Now, Keith, I had a long monologue about you before you came on. Did you know about that?
No idea. No, I'm quite worried now.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Okay, yeah. It's the first time I've done this stuff and experienced like comments from people I have no idea who they are. When I was on your warp drive one, and people were not liking some of the stuff I was saying, and I'm like, oh well. But
listen. I don't. People can say what they want. I think people are generally listen. If you have a differing opinion, I am welcoming anyway. I'm not sure about it, but
so what was what were you saying about me? It's just so I know.
I say I have a ulterior motive, a cunning plan. You have to go listen. I'm not going to do the spiel again.
It's kind of worrying. Okay.
He must have cast you in about 5 internal headcanon fan films.
I said, like, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that, we can do that. And I was like, oh.
Maybe you should be my agent, Rabbi.
You'll see me trying to sneakily try to talk you into stuff because I was like, I know I won't be able to stop myself. It's going to happen. But I just think it's a good idea. You should go back and watch the beginning. Fine. I'm going to wrap up. I'm hitting the end broadcast button, which is meaningless. The end broadcast button is useful. Do you want to get? Oh, but honestly, is there any point in upgrading to a 4K? It seems awfully expensive.
Depends on the film. It totally depends on the film because that's quite a complicated.
What movie is worth upgrading for, and what movie isn't worth upgrading for?
Well, it depends. You see, it depends what it was shot on. Firstly, okay, it depends how much visual effects were involved. It depends on what era it was made. There was all sorts of things.
Fantastic 4K film, like this. What doesn't have to be the best one in the top 100.
Well, for example, recently, I'll just do ones that I know about because I've done them recently. Warner have released a 4K edition of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which was obviously all shot on film originally on 35mm. That transfer is fantastic. It's a 4K scan from the original negatives, and it looks glorious on 4K. I've done a review on it on the channel. So, but I mean, I've not seen it. It depends on the film. It really does. What's interesting is a lot of people think that new films like, say, the Marvel movies would be amazing in 4K. And the reality of that is the production stuff that's shot on film or on a very high def, like a 4K digital, will transfer well, but the visual effects side of things are usually rendered in 2K, which means you're upscaling to that. And as a result, there's sometimes a bit of a mismatch. So it really does depend.
What about physical visual effects from like movies from the 80s and not?
Yeah, well, I mean, like Back to the Future, for example, you can see you can see the stuntmen, you can see some of the matte lines around things. It brings out, you can see makeup on people. It makes that quite obvious, which some could look at as that's a bad thing.
I really did like that Hobbit movie because I saw it in like super.
Well, the difference with the Hobbit was Peter Jackson was experimenting with high frame rate, so that was, as opposed to 24 frames per second, which is what we normally watch films at. That was at 48 frames per second. And what I think, what I'm interested to know is people of our generation tend not to enjoy that, because to us it looks like video, it looks like something that was shot on like a BBC drama or something, and it's a bit uncanny. But I'm wondering, a newer generation that have literally grown up on today's video games and stuff, I wonder whether they would actually prefer something in a high frame rate. Apparently the Avatar movies, when they come out, are going to be in a high frame rate. So
I'll say to you, as somebody that grew up, like, I'm only 29, so I suppose Oh, well, yeah, I suppose now. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I grew up with the Lord of the Rings, and I think there is, like, when you still rewatch them, there is that kind of little bit of grain. So to me, like, I totally agree with you what you're saying there. The Hobbit is extremely jarring because it does look like it's moving too quickly, and it looks like you're actually watching a soap. It actually looks like you're watching like Coronation Street, the way it's shot, even the way it's shot, yeah. And then you have that one image down when they go into the water and the barrels, and it's like someone took it on their mobile phone and it goes fuzzy. And to me, like, that's a shot that should always actually be cut now from any future releases. But yeah, I totally agree with you when it comes to 4K on that one, and the high frame rate, it does affect it. It's very jarring then when you go back and watch The Lord of the Rings, because it's shot beautifully, I think.
Yeah, well, one film that was really curious and really odd was Ang Lee did a film called Gemini Man, starring Will Smith. And I saw this in IMAX high frame rate. And it felt, I mean, the story's not great. So it felt like a sort of movie, that had been written 30 years ago or whatever. But what it really did enter uncanny valley, because obviously you had a de-aged Will Smith, which worked quite well. But I was watching it in IMAX, at this super high. It was like 128 frames per second or something crazy like that, and it looked like a big Will Smith was stood in the auditorium, and it was really odd,
really weird,
just weird.
That sounds like it'll be good for concerts, but not for movies.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to answer this question, and on that we will end. What's your thoughts on Tyler Victoria's Blu-ray? If you have a kid or a friend who's interested in Doctor Who and wants to get into Doctor Who, it's a great Blu-ray for them, because it's a very good selection of stories, like both classic and modern. In that, I think it's a great idea. And you don't need it for Time Lord Victorious at all. But if again, it's a very, very cheap package of a good overview of stuff.
Apparently, you get a booklet. You get a booklet, though, Rabbi. You get a booklet.
I've been to see quite a few at the BFI last year. I went to actually see, ironically, quite a lot of classic Doctor Who films that were being re-released for the Blu-ray market. And if you told me, I used to sell technology into companies in the post-production marketplace, and literally, if you'd said like 5 years ago, you could take something that was made in the 70s, where you had you had 10 minutes of stuff that had been shot on 16mm when they did location work, but the rest of it had been recorded on videotape in a studio setting, and that you could put that to high def. I'd have said, "Oh no, that's not possible. It was only possible with the one shot on film, like Spearhead from Space, which was that John Pertwee one that was entirely on film, and they released that on Blu-ray, and it was okay, fair enough. But you know, when I heard they were doing it with things like some of the Tom Baker classic ones, and I was like, well, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. But technology, there is now, and I dealt with a company that used to do this. There's an algorithm and some software now that can actually take video standard definition, and using AI will actually add resolution to it, and that's how those classic Doctor Who Blu-rays are produced, and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, that technology blows my mind. It really does.
Is that similar? I don't know if you remember this, Rabbi, from when the DVD range was first coming out.
Yeah,
it sounds very similar to a process called VidFire.
It's the next generation of that.
Yes, it is, and I have to say as well. Again, I'm somewhat hypocritical when I say that I'm not a fan of New Who, just because in 2004 or whenever it came out with Eccleston, 5, whatever, I was into shows like Battlestar Galactica and Lost and whatever, and it wasn't but the Doctor Who just wasn't my jelly at that point. I was like, but I will say those BBC DVD releases that they did an absolutely superb job, because they're beautifully packaged. They've got loads of extras and retrospectives and stuff, and some of them like Earthshock, which is one of my favorite ever episodes, because I was a kid when that was out. Earthshock, they actually put in enhanced visual effects, and you had the choice of watching it with the original BBC, pretty bad visual effects, or new CG effects. And I thought that's the way to do a release. That's really cool,
I bought it 3 times now.
Right.
I've had it several times with this. Yeah.
I've got a few of them. I have like Genesis of the Daleks and Earthshock and a few of the Dalek episodes and stuff, because I love all that stuff. So
I had a message from Noel. He's going to be releasing a video tomorrow, I think. So watch out. It's an important one. He wants everyone who's here, including the panel, if they can, to repost it wherever they can. It's about the state of the fandom and the things that are being said. Certain accounts who are saying pretty nasty things about Rabbi here.
I don't care. I couldn't care.
No, it really does need to. This needs to have a nail on it.
Okay. Fine. I just want to say, listen, I have the Blu-rays. Now listen, kids, I'm not going to say do drugs. Don't do drugs. But if you do smoke a lot of weed, you smoke a lot of weed, and you put one of those old Tom Bakers on, freaking awesome.
I tell you what, the Hinchcliffe Holmes era was really good, wasn't it?
My era.
Really good.
Yeah.
Again, kids, don't do drugs. So, Fran, I press the end.
Oh, sorry. Bye.